pay my accounts, I receive my money, right? That is known as OLTP, online transaction processing system. The whole idea of a warehouse is to convert the data information, which in turn helps you in decision making. The whole idea of is just to decision making. For example, I was working in an automobile company. We were trying to see whether this particular model works out or not. It's not a very easy decision to figure out that can I drop this line or not, assembly line. I mean. Can I drop this assembly line? It needs a lot of analytics. So after building a lot of informational models, and then there came a decision that should we continue this line or not. So ultimately, my idea is to convert the data into information into decision. That is my main idea behind the BW. That's what you're learning. So in a industry terms, it is known as ETL, extraction, transformation, and loading. Okay. But the concept is changing a little bit. It is ELT now. We first extract, then we load, then we transform depending upon how the business wants. Previously, we were transforming while coming into the business warehouse. But slowly, the paradigm is changing. Slowly, I am now doing loading first. First, I'm loading whatever data I'm extracting, persistently loading into either in memory or into the database. Persistently, I'm loading there. Then I'm transforming the way I want, right? So it's the ETL/ELT concept is there, right? So let us not worry about. I want to give you the big picture that what is this industry, where you are entering, and what SAP especially what does it include in SAP Business Warehouse. That is the objective of this orientation. Okay. Now, so coming back, there is a big question. People, you must have done research. You just must not have just walked up and came, oh, there is orientation, I'm going. No, you must have done some deliberation and research, right? That why SAP BW, or let me check out what is SAP BW, right? So if you have seen, there are a lot of questions who are in SAP world also. They say, oh, is HANA has come, so do we need BW? Many people have this question. Not only you, industries have this question. Whenever I go to a consultant, to my clients, the first question, they don't understand what is BW on HANA, what is HANA, what is BW. They don't know that difference itself. Okay. Yeah, sorry, 1 second. It is BW on HANA. But we would be covering HANA. That's what I want to clear. HANA is different. BW on HANA is different. BW on HANA means HANA is the database. Right. Okay. So you are going to model on a in-memory database. That is what we'll be covering. HANA is a separate course. Like previous batches which I taught, they're purely native HANA. That is known as native HANA. You can do modeling. I'll show you. You can do modeling in HANA. You can do modeling in BW. So that's what this course is about.
Be explaining today what are the differences?
Yeah.
The two types of modeling.
Yes.
And how which one is more beneficial for us, or which one is more?
No, both are beneficial. Organizations only don't know. Forget you. Organizations only don't know.
There will be particular scenarios where one would be applicable.
Yes. There is both have the merit. Both have the merits, and you have to understand. Let me log. Both has the merits. So let me download this. Let me share my screen.
Are you referring to a sidecar scenario?
No. That's what people have totally different misconceptions about HANA. So let me explain those. I think I'm not sharing the screen. Let me share my screen, then you will know. I am sharing my screen. Oh, the projector is not. Yeah, I'll ask him. He only man. Don't worry, guys. You will go with a good knowledge only whether this is not. So time is not a. It's coming. Did we move? Previously it used to be there.
No. Because the lighted room, you need a dark room.
Yeah. Okay, it will come up once. Yeah. Anyway.
Blind. You need a dark blind.
Yeah. So the question, let's start the presentation, guys. This is, I have arranged it very systematically.
Maybe we project on the red wall, it might come up better.
Yeah. No, is it not visible? It should be. Okay, yeah, it's visible, right? Yeah. Yeah. So the course here is, guys, it is the BW on HANA, is the version 7.4. That is the course which we are covering. So BW on HANA. So what it is? As I told you, people have, that's what I wanted to clear on this presentation.
The 7.4 is a HANA version or the BW
It's a BW version. HANA doesn't have a version.
version.
No, it's a 1.0 version. There are support packs associated with it. I'll explain all those technical things later. So the question you asked is this. So the question you asked is this. So I can do modeling in HANA. I can do modeling in BW. The current course is we are covering SAP BW. This is what. When we model in HANA, that's a totally different course. Okay, that is a different course, and that is called native HANA modeling. Okay, in this course we will be modeling in BW, but what SAP has done is that SAP has introduced called mixed architecture or hybrid architecture, where I can consume a BW model in HANA, or I can it's called interoperability. I can consume a BW model in HANA or a HANA model in BW. Got it? But why? Okay, why SAP has introduced? Why can't it put all modeling in one place? That is what I was trying to explain you. Why it couldn't put all the modeling in one place?
Some people can have
On the application, right?
Pardon?
some people have HANA, other people don't.
Yes, that is a valid enterprise reason, but technologically and architecturally, what is the reason? If I'm trying to do you all understand what is operational analytics and what is operation? Operation means to run day to day, right? To run my business day to day.
The traditional analytics which was there till now, the current trend is for the business intelligence.
Previously, what we used to call reporting in layman's terms, what we used to call reporting. What were we reporting on? How many open purchase orders are there, or how many open sales orders are there, right? Where I want to know as of now, I have to be very particular about whether the open purchase order report was yesterday's or today's, right? That is what is the difference between operational analytics and predictive analytics and all. I'll show you one slide. What are the different types of analytics we generally deal with? Point what I'm trying to tell is that my operational analytics, what was my drawback of a BW? Why did SAP introduce HANA modeling? The drawback of BW was I could not report real time. The fundamental problem with any warehousing solutions, they are not real time. Real time means you post a document, financial document, and you want to see, like you did a manual journal entry. Guys, please mute yourself. Otherwise, I have to mute everyone, and they can't ask me questions.
No, Jagan, I have a question on this before we start. Why don't we go one slide one by one? Because now we are switching slides in between, and we are unable to follow it.
No,
why don't we go from the?
Somebody asked a question. I wanted to show that. That's all I was doing.
Yeah, I understand that, because why don't you reserve all the? I'm talking to everyone. Why don't we reserve all the questions at the end or something else? Because if you switch slides, see, now we are talking about HANA and big business warehouse, but many of us don't know what is HANA and what is business warehouse, right? So why don't you go step by step so that everyone can understand, and you give us a time so that we can ask our questions. It's just good for everyone.
Sure, but some people get lost if they don't have their question answered. That's why I was answering. But we will go slide by slide, okay? So
yeah, even at the end of the slide, people can ask questions. That's fine with me. But let us not.
Got your point. Let's carry on. So this is what I'm trying to put in this agenda that I have prepared yesterday night. That is HANA replacing BW. This is a fundamental question which many people has, and I wanted to clear that. Okay, is HANA replacing BW? What is analytics and what is the scope and future of it? What is the data warehousing? Reporting needs of an enterprise. It can be operational, analytical, statutory, audit, compliance, predictive, and management reporting. Any type of reporting. So which you have to figure out as a reporting architect, which is a better tool to do what. Okay, that is what we have to. Then we fell into SAP and its details. This is a general industry. SAP, ECC, and BW, how they are connected. How ECC means OLTP system, and BW, how they are connected. Then introduction to HANA and its applications. Then what is BW on HANA? Then what are the tools for SAP reporting, and what are the skills needed for an analytical professional? Generally, the questions which I get is, what are the skills needed? And then we'll go for Q&A. Okay. So coming back, some slides you already may be knowing, but for general I have put. This is what is SAP's BW footprint is today in the market from a market segmentation perspective. That I have these many customers. Who are already on BW. Okay. Now the question which he asked is, my BW can be in an Oracle database. My BW can be in a HANA database, right? These 14,500 customers you are seeing, they are not on HANA database. They are on an Oracle database. Their BW, their enterprise warehouse, data warehouse is running on an Oracle data warehouse. If you go to SAP, there are two courses. Like last week I was called for a course. One is called BW on HANA, one is called BW on native tools. Traditional databases. There are two courses because everybody is not on HANA. As he has answered, everybody is not on HANA. Some enterprises are still on Oracle or like that. So the courses are also divided like that. But course is a secondary issue. The primary design is that if I am not, my scope of my implementation is not HANA, then BW is on an Oracle database. Got it? So these 14,500 customers, they are only on non-HANA, which is, can be Oracle, SQL Server, IBM DB2. It can be any of the 5 or 6 databases it supports, right? Then usually the rate at which they have your new installations per month. Why I gave this slide is that there is a scope of it. Only thing is you have to get up to the game. With this course, you have to get up to the game. There is a lot of scope in BW. If you look for a BW architect, I keep interviewing at least average 1 a day. I don't get architects. Everybody claims they are architects, but nobody knows they are not real architects. But if you are a real architect, you will get 10 calls per day. That is the scope of BW. But you have to live up to your resume for that. Okay. So there are new installations because without a warehouse, my enterprise won't survive. Without a warehouse, my enterprise won't survive. What will I do? Or doing all my analytical transactions, OLTP transactions I'm doing, but something I have to take decisions. I need data in a certain format, in a certain shape and form, right? That analytics does that. And there are versions. There are 3,500, 7.3. They have upgraded because these might be on earlier versions like 3, 3.5. There might be in those versions. They upgraded it. And 850 are on BW on HANA customers. So what is your job scope? Your job scope is this: the differential of this 14,500 plus 3,500 minus 850. So these many people has to go on HANA because SAP can stop supporting non-traditional databases also. But the modeling part, whether it is HANA or not HANA, is not very different. The modeling part is same. So you can support still this plus this, and you can also learn what the HANA does in the BW. What is the HANA's role in the BW? Got it? So we will try to cover both aspects of it. What we are not covering is how to do individual HANA modeling, which is a native HANA modeling. It has nothing to do with BW. Within HANA, what we are doing, that we are not covering. Got it? No, questions we'll keep in the end, so that way class won't get distracted. Okay. So this is another. I just wanted to give you a picture. The same. It was a picture of that how it is raising, how the graph is raising, the implementations are raising, and how BW HANA will be take over. Okay. So this is I wrote. I got it from the SAP's website, but I wanted to bring it to your attention. Okay. What is SAP's view on BW, right? What is SAP's view on BW? That many people think that HANA has come, that BW is not needed. That is not correct. HANA is only for your operational reporting needs. It can fulfill your HANA as operational reporting needs. It cannot fulfill your data warehousing needs. So the data warehousing still has to exist. Now you may ask, why data warehousing? Suppose I have a 10-year, I want to do a metric reporting. I need 10 years of history. Does my operational systems keep 10 years of data in your operational system? Do we keep 10 years of data?
Oh.
Yes or no?
We can keep in the
we keep in archive. We don't keep it in the regular system. Why? Why do you archive data?
Less overhead.
Huh?
Less overhead.
I don't want my system to be taxed with performance. If I have to read 1,000 lines and if I have to write 1 million lines, which is faster? That is the concept. So why, first of all, why would we separate warehouse from an operational system is for that fundamental reason, that I want to increase the efficiency of my reporting and not compromise the performance of my operation. Because if on the same system I'm doing operations and reporting, naturally reporting will take some resources of my operational system, right? That means suppose you went to book a online and your hourglass will be running forever and ever to book a online reservation, right? Because the resources are not freed up. That is why Bill Inman and Ralph Kimball, they told, let's keep something called as the data warehouse separate from the operations and build a data warehouse. That's how it started. But as I told you, as warehouse started, people got greedy. They did not restrict themselves to KPI reporting, metric reporting. They started doing operations also. For that, HANA came into picture. Okay. For the performance perspective, HANA came into picture. But HANA, if you know HANA, you need deep pockets for HANA. Enterprises are unable to afford HANA. SAP sells, that's all bullshit. You need a lot of money for license. License is not based on user. License is based on per gig consumed, per gig stored on the memory. So if I have a 30 terabyte footprint in my enterprise and I have to put all that into HANA, just an operational system, forget BW. Just my global operation system is at 30 terabyte, and if I want to put that on HANA, they need at least $15 to $20 million of license. And your data grows. Your data doesn't stay there. Your data grows exponentially. So that is the biggest flip side of HANA implementation. Anyway, so you need a warehouse because I want to store 10 years of data. Why warehouse? You may say, like as you told, before archiving, I could say I can get from an archive database also, but still in my operations database, my data is not information. My data is just data. I have a sales orders, I have my customers, but I have not done the transformation of the data into the way I want to look at the business. Got it? So that is why you need a warehouse. It cannot replace. I tried to put a slide. I think lost that slide somewhere, where Vishal Sikka, who is the CTO, Chief Technology Officer of SAP, who introduced HANA to the world. Vishal Sikka's blog is there. Why do we need SAP? People ask the same question, not people, enterprises ask the question, do I need BW? Then he gave a very good reply. I thought I included that, I did not, but I will include the slide before I send it to you. He gave a very good presentation. Okay. Robert and Vishal Sikka. Robert is he's the enterprise. He's the architect, HANA architecture. He was leading architecture and he was the CTO. They have told whether BW is needed or not. Why BW is needed is what I have to integrate data. I have to harmonize the data, which is in my operations. In my operations, my data is in a raw format, right? I have to integrate and harmonize that. For that, I need BW. Modeling of data warehouse requires a sophisticated tool set, and it's not just, you need to have security, right? I cannot give the data in everybody's hand. I should be able to control who can see what data. That is a major thing nowadays with Sarbanes-Oxley. Half of my time I spend in security controls. When I model, half of my time I spend in how to secure the data. So security is very important, and governance, how the data has to be governed, request handling, how the data should be loaded. Means it should not disrupt, because I am extracting data from an operational system. Means still I am taxing my operational system to extract the data. I'm pestering it. Give me some data. Give me some data. So I have to handle my request handling. Means my data request handling is very important. All this can be handled by BW only. No other tool. If you want to do something, a homegrown tool, you are most welcome. But you'll be spending more dollars and time than buying a SAP BW. That's what he's trying to tell. So what does it do? Data warehouses are made for integrating and harmonizing different sources and bring data into one standardized model where you want to see the data in a harmonized fashion. What is harmonization? For example, for example, projection to cash. That means I projected a business. I projected my business that I will do $1 million. From that projection, I have to turn that into an opportunity into a sales order into either a manufacturing order or a service order, and then invoice, cash. So until I get the cash, so this is my integration. I have to integrate all these systems. My CRM systems, which takes my opportunities, my projections, then my sales and distribution system, which takes the sales orders, then my planning or the service orders, which takes this. I have to integrate all this and give the report. This is the date I'm planning, projecting, and this is the date I'm going to receive the final cash, right? So all this has to be integrated. The data is not integrated. The data is in silos in your operation system. It is in silos. What BW does is that BW weaves a common thread. It connects these common thread and gives you the report. That is the advantage of BW. It integrates and harmonizes. That is what it does. Okay, enabling global reporting. This requires a sophisticated system. So HANA cannot replace BW. BW has its own presence. Okay. So that is why SAP has started doing this. What? That though let me clarify one concept before I come to this slide. What is HANA? HANA is a database. It started as a database. What kind of database? It's an in-memory database. That means I don't have my persistence in a hard disk, on a hard disk or something. It's in my RAM. The analogy, which is the easiest analogy, is if you have a file on your zip drive and if you have a file on a network drive, which is easier to access if you time it? Which is easier to access? The one which is on the zip drive, because you're not going through the hoops of the network latency, right? You're not going through a network. Same is the concept HANA. HANA is, I'm going to bring all my data. What is your RDBMS architecture? Your application server goes to the data, makes a trip to the database server. Your application server might be in Colorado. Your database server will be in Fort Worth, Dallas. So it has to travel all this path. How does it travel? The data travels in terms of how you set your buffer pools, how you set your what we call caching and all that, right? So the data travels from an application server to a database server, and my application server has a limited memory. Even if I build the greatest system, it can have 50 gig as the RAM, right? One application server, 50 gig, or say 500 gig, say 1 terabyte. Nowadays we are getting 1 terabyte memory, RAM also. I can put 1 terabyte in RAM, right? But if I put 1 terabyte in RAM, try to do this. Put all your data in RAM, what will happen? Your system will stop functioning because your RAM is just processing that 1 terabyte of data you are trying to handle. So to avoid these trips from an application server to a database, HANA came into picture where I will do everything in memory. That means my database will have so much of RAM that I put every data, all of the data in the RAM instead of a disk. Got it? That is the concept of HANA. High performance analytical appliance. That's what HANA stands for. High performance analytic appliance. So I can do modeling. I can do this. Top portion is the SAP BW and the lower portion is the SAP HANA modeling. But both can sit on HANA databases. That is what your confusion was when we started the class. The database can be HANA, but the tool we are using for modeling can be BW or can be, this is called native HANA, or it can be a native HANA modeling also. That means if I have to develop a sales order, open sales order model, I can develop either in BW or in HANA, right? So the choice is ours. SAP is giving you both approaches. It's data warehousing approaches and both. You can have it on BW or it can have. Which scenarios we use BW, which scenarios we use data modeling? If it is kind of an operational type reporting where I want up to the minute, up to the latest second, then I use HANA modeling. If it is a KPI reporting or it is a historical or a audit type reporting, then I will use BW. Got it? So that you have to do as a reporting architect, that's you have to triage it. So the new concept with SAP is introduced is called HANA data warehouse. Why it is a HANA data warehouse? Because the database is HANA. It's called HANA data warehouse. If now you're like you, some organizations, enterprises may not be on HANA. Still, then you will do everything in BW only. Okay. Still you can do everything in BW, but I can have another SQL based or some other auxiliary system where I can write my own SQL to extract data. Here I have everything modeled, prototyped, out of the box. I have out of the box here, got it? But here I have to homegrown it. I have to grow it in the home. I have to prepare that query. I have to prepare that model. That is the difference. So with HANA, the SQL centric, HANA is SQL centric, whereas BW is model centric, where I don't have to customize, I don't have to do it from the scratch. Okay, I don't have to reinvent the wheel. SAP has given you content. That means SAP has given you standard cubes which you can use as it is, right? So that way my total throughput time of the implementation is reduced and my annual maintenance cost is reduced, because I can use out of the box solution for the BW centric. That is what we are learning. That is called pre-delivered content. It is very rich. What did it do? It wrote all the SQL behind it for you. You don't have to write that SQL, basic SQL. It wrote that SQL for you in the form of extraction. Once you extract the data, you weave it the way you want. Once you extract the data, but that extraction is done for you. Programs are extractor programs are written for you. That is what is called as business content. So it has got a very high, rich business content. Okay, this was the slide which we were talking that. So the architecture is mixed, where you have HANA modeling and BW modeling, and your reporting tools like your BobJ can access both models and they can report out of it. Classic example which I give always is, I don't know how many of you have a finance background. What do you do in the month end? We have to close the books. In a quarter end, I have to close the quarter. What happens? Regular scenario, if you take, come month end, I close it my operational system, like in your ECC or Oracle manufacturing, whatever ECC, whatever operational system you have, you close it there. Next day, the accountant comes, oops, my trial balance, my assets and liabilities are not matching. What do? The accountant says, look, there is a difference, let me post an entry. The moment he posts an entry, is it visible in your warehouse? No, because in my warehouse I extract every 6 hours or every night. I don't extract every day into my warehouse. Every minute I don't extract, sorry. I only extract the time when I think when the system is sleeping or in a dormant state where there is no much activity. That time I go and extract, which is usually the night. In a global operation systems, what happens? You time it such that when Asia is running, Europe servers are extracted. When Europe is sleeping, Asia is extracting. So that way you time it, right? But the fundamental point is it is not save and see. You can't save the journal entry and see that in BW. You have to extract, wait for the night. For that, what I do is that all my journal entries which the accountant has posted as of now will be available here. And as of yesterday's night, whatever I have put that in BW. And I combine these two and report on my BI client as the latest and greatest. Got it? That is the mixed hybrid approach which we are using. This got evolved. Previously, the downsize was why I had a BW, because I don't want my operation system to be a reporting system also. That's why I separated BW. But when I had BW, I didn't have the latest and greatest data. It's not real time. So people told, I want real time and I want performance. Then this is the mixed architecture is your solution. Okay. So here I will store only the journal entries which I have posted. Then when tonight comes, I will move it here. But before that, if somebody wants to report, I will report out of these two solutions. So this is the vision of SAP, which is currently being implemented in 1 or 2 clients. What is the vision of SAP? That I have something called as HANA data warehouse, in which BW is a part. See here, HANA database, they have a new tool, this purple tool called Bora, B-O-R-A. They have a new tool called Bora. And anyway, for your purposes, what you are learning is this box. So this box cannot go away. Okay, one reason. And two, it is integrated with the HANA as a platform.
Can you zoom it? There are icons at the bottom. You can zoom it. It's only 73% right now.
You lose a big picture
No,
if I zoom.
not that big. Let it sit.
Oh,
That's
if
better.
that is what, then I will do this. Okay, so what previously HANA was not a platform, HANA was a database previously. Now HANA is a central platform where it's going to serve your Power Designer is where you design your queries on HANA. This is your data warehouse foundation when you get non-SAP data. SAP data is in your BW, and your enterprise information management where you are doing your data services like extraction, which is called BODS, BO, Business Objects Data Services. So my ETL all is centered around the HANA platform, and HANA Aura is another tool which they have introduced. I will not confuse you with that. Okay. So idea is it can be on the cloud, it can be on a, there are two versions of BW. Your HANA can be on the cloud or it can be in the on-premise. That's why you have, this is on-premise, this is cloud. You can put your databases on the cloud or on HANA. That's a totally different thing. But what is the vision? That you have everything. You have your data warehouse, you have your extraction, and you have your data management services all in one place. That is what is a BW is about. And you can get this slide. What I tried to show you is that you can get data from heterogeneous IT systems in your landscape. What are your heterogeneous? You can be SAP systems, they can be non-SAP systems, they can be databases, they can be NoSQL database like Hadoop. So if you see, I have a Hadoop database and a in-memory database, right? All my databases can be integrated here. Idea is BW is evolving now into accepting data from other databases, which is called smart data access. And from SAP, previously it was started with SAP, but it can have SAP, non-SAP, and NoSQL databases like Hadoop and all these. That is what SAP is going towards. Okay, that's the latest and the greatest vision of SAP. Now we will get into the, like, why I put this slide is that one of the biggest challenges today in analytics is lack of skilled analytical resources. You know this concept of data scientist? You try to apply for a data scientist. Your job will be at least 250K, but you don't have anyone available. Same case will be with analytics. I'm telling you, analytics is going to be the name of the game. Only thing is you should have those skills, and SAP BW is one of the strongest skill, which is because it includes with SAP BW you can interact with the SAP system and non-SAP system, a DB and a NoSQL. You can get data from all places, and then you do your intelligence on it. Once the data is extracted, you can do your own intelligence, right? That is what is this about. So BW is very important. Why? Because there is a shift in the thinking of the organizations. What is the shift? The shift is previously business application centric. Your enterprises were business application centric. I will have a sales order system, I will have a purchase order system, I will have a FI system, right? We were business application centric. Now we are not business. Now we are analytics and centric. And all my business applications revolve around my analytics. My idea is to have feed my data, transform my data into operations, into information through my analytical systems. That is what is the change. As I told you, nowadays, what are the top CIO business and technology is analytics and business intelligence. This is their #1 priority. Talk to any CIO and CTO, they will talk about this only. What are the trends? Why do we need this? Because analytics, we need analytics. Analytics has matured. Previously, they were traditional database and some SQL over it. Now, if you see, it is not just a database and a SQL. It is a big conglomerate of all the technologies, in-memory technology, mobile, all that is coming into. So analytics has matured that you can see on your palm top also. You can see in your palm top also what is my current sales order position or what is my point of sale, right? What is the greatest advantage with HANA? Your point of sale. So in memory is ripping out the old rules, breaking down all old barriers. Operations analytics are no longer separate. Previously they were separate. Now we are integrating everything into. Big data is the big deal. Okay, how we are handling big data? Through HANA. SAP solution for big data is HANA. Optimizing user experience. Information is an asset. And of course, governance, we are controlling through the governance. And this slide, I want to tell you that how we have shifted that from a raw data to this. We are going through the next slide, that what has happened. These are the three answers which we are trying to. What has happened, what could happen, and what should happen. This is predictive analytics, what we call as predictive and prescriptive analytics. That you are predicting before the occurrence has happened, right? You are predicting before the occurrence has happened. Now you may say, what is the relation between a predictive analytics and HANA? There is a big relation. If you have done any predictive analytics, what does predictive analytics require? It requires, when I ask you to do a survey, what is the first thing you do? You collect samples. So your survey will be as accurate as your sample collection is. If your sampling size is less, then your prediction may not be accurate. But if your sampling size is more, your prediction will be accurate. But what is the flip side of the sampling size is large? I am unable to process that volume of data. But with HANA, I can do large volume processing in less time because it's an in-memory. So my predictive analytics is becoming more and more prominent. Previously, predictive analytics was just nice to have, but it is not now nice to have. It is the requirement of the businesses because I want to predict the occurrence before it occurs also. And then what can I prescription? If this is going to happen, what is my corrective action? Previously, you were stopping, the bus was getting stopped here. What has happened? That's all. You are analyzing after the fact. So because I had limitations on my system, I had a resource and system limitations that is being overcome by HANA and SAP BW. So that is why. So we are going from raw data to business optimization, and we are going from analytic maturities from what happened to why did it happen, what will happen, and what is the best that could happen. We are going from this. We are going this direction. So as I told you previously, we started reporting. Now we are not reporting. We are going into a strategy where I'm going to get some business value out of it. Okay. And similarly, the roles are changing. Previously, the information workers were only giving you. Now you can't be just an information worker. You have to be an analytic person also, which means different skill sets. So you need to be a BI expert. Process has changed, new tool sets have come. So these are all the reasons why we need. Of course, I don't have to explain this, but I like to keep this slide my orientation because I want to tell that you need analytics for strategic, you need for tactical, day-to-day operations, for your day-to-day operational, tactical 3 to 5 years, beyond 5 years, how should my business do? That's why, and of course at a right time and that. These are the common questions which BI people get. I can't find the data I need. That is the fundamental question. You have every data in your operation system, but still they complain, I can't find the data I need, because either they don't know how to query the data, or it is too cumbersome. You do a regular search, it doesn't come, right? I can't get the data I need. I know the data is there, but My database is not handling that. I'm unable to get that result the time and the format I want. I can't understand the data I found. I found the data, but it is not integrated and harmonized. I got the data. I got all sales orders database. I put into my Access database. I got it. After that, I don't know. I am an information worker. I only collected information. I'm not an analytics person. I have not harmonized or integrated it. I can't use the data I found, so it's of no use. So then these people start, the CTO gets these questions, that do I have a tool? How can I use enterprise data in a way it gives me the information? So my data has to be converted into information. Can some people help get I want the big picture of it, like dashboards. You go to a CEO or a CTO office, you don't give the report, you go to Excel, click this button, they won't wait. They just need a dashboard, big picture, how it is doing. Then they will take decisions, right? For that only you have dashboards and all that. And will information give me the glimpse of future trends, your predictive analytics? Of course, I'm investing 15 to 20 million in license and 10 to 20 million in hardware. Will I get something in return? That is the first question a CTO has to answer, right? So you have to have a business value of it. So same thing, I told some questions which commonly come. You can go through that. So what is a warehouse? I wanted to give you the picture of that. So I have all my operations going on here, and I have a technology which will extract the data and put it in a data warehouse. And from this, I create data marts. And from this, I have my tools or reports or my Excel, wherever I want to do. So this is the big picture I wanted to give, that what is this course about? So this course is about ETL. This course is about modeling. And this course is about creating these data marts suitable for reporting. So this is the scope of our course. This is the scope of our course, ETL. Now, for the ETL, you need to know that's why I told you it's a techno-functional job. You need to know something about this. When you go to a user and he talks only financial language, you should be able to understand at least what he's talking, right? He will not talk technical. And if you try to talk him technical, he'll say you don't know. So it is a techno-functional job. You should know the technology part of it. You should know the business side of it or the functionality of it also. Of course, you should be savvy in reporting and everything. That is a different tool set. So it is for across various verticals. Yeah, Xavier.
Okay.
Yeah, Xavier question will come. Okay. And it is not only strategic, tactical, and functional, it is across various verticals also. You do reporting across sales, marketing, but your idea is you have to integrate all this into your warehouse. Because in your operations, in your functional and tactical operations, they are lying in different silos. They are different tables. Those tables have to be joined or associated. So you need to know, this is what is OLAP, online analytical processing, where you do the analytics of it. Okay, and this is same the data warehouse concept I showed you. And why SAP? That's what I will show you, because SAP is first multilingual. It supports multiple languages. Very good feature. Let me tell you, you have a purchase order, and your purchase order has to be sent to Japan. It should be in Japanese, right? So when I generate a generate a purchase order, it should, if you see any purchase order behind the teams, what do you have? You have invoice terms, right? That invoice terms has to be in Japanese, right? So it supports multilingual SAP, highly secure. Sarbanes-Oxley. You know, the current project I'm doing is a financial transformation. The stock exchange board has asked us to come to SAP because SAP is more secure. That means I can record a transaction. If somebody is trying to change the numbers, financial figures which I'm giving to stock exchange, in the audit they found out that somebody is changing the numbers. But with the SAP system, you cannot change the numbers the way you want. You have to have security in governance and control. That means it won't let you change unless you get approval or unless you record it somewhere that you are changing for this reason the number. So that way it will not give you a false numbers to the stock exchange. Got it? Highly secure. Sarbanes-Oxley, GRC, governance, risk and compliance, all these are inbuilt into SAP. Of course, it is a highly integrated package and it's enterprise-wide. It connects the global enterprises and it has got all the best business practices. The sell side, the buy side. So right nowadays, you cannot say I'm just an enterprise because you have to connect your vendors, you have to connect your customers, right? So you have to have agile systems, and SAP with HANA is agile system where it is connecting your buy side, sell side, and your particular business. And this is what is the SAP's business intelligence definition is. What it is an enterprise class. Why it is an enterprise class? Say I have a regional system and I have a corporate systems, right? That means I'm operating, I have, say for example, IT itself. IT, you have Americas region, you have Europe region, and you have Asia Pacific region, right? Now, as a CTO or a CIO, I have to find out the total cost of all, what are my cost centers, and if I have a $1 billion budget, how should I allocate the budget in across all these regions? So you have to have a planning system which is enterprise-wide. It should be complete and open and integrated. Why it is open? Because I should be able to receive data. Everything may not be in SAP, right? All the data, my enterprise, I'm a big conglomerate. I have 100 different IT systems. But my business reporting system should have the data coming from 10 different systems or 100 different systems. That's why I have to be open, and after it's open, I get data in different formats, I have to align them. That is what is called harmonization and integration. This is harmonization and integration. Solution that delivers actionable insights. Of course, all this is because I want to change some of the way I'm doing the business. This is a old slide, but gives you a picture, three-dimensional. That's why I tried to keep it. What do you deal in warehouse? This is what you will be dealing with in warehouse. So see whether it is your cup of tea or not. You have to deal with master data. That means who are my customers, who are my vendors, what are their attributes, which region the customer belongs to, which vendor, what is the buying pattern of the customer, what is the delivery rate of the vendor, all that you store in master data about, which doesn't change very often. What changes is your transactional data, which is in your queue or in your data store object. That's where today with this customer, I had 10 sales orders. Tomorrow I had 30 sales orders. That is operational. That stays. So what is your BW? BW is, if you see here, this is your ETL part. It can take from a flat file, it can take from a web, it can directly connect to a database, or it can connect to your data warehouse, or it can connect to your SAP and non-SAP applications, get data into the warehouse and report on your reporting tool set. And you have a tool to monitor and administer the whole system. And you can send data back to different other systems. Like for example, at Unilever, when I was consulting with Unilever, we were sending data from, we were using BW as an open hub system. Open hub means I was getting data from 10 different systems, harmonizing, integrating it, and sending me back to 10 different systems, because they purchased what is this? Best Foods, which produces this Lipton tea. No, Best Foods. That was that used to produce your Lipton tea and all this. These tea bags which you see. Huh? No, Lipton. Oh, Lipton. It was known as Best Foods. It has, Unilever was first only doing home and personal care, like your body soaps, scents, it was doing. But when it bought Best Foods, so Best Foods has 10 different systems. HPC, home and personal care, had 10 different systems. I had to integrate and send. So BW is also not used as a reporting system also, it is used as an open hub system also. So that is why you have this open hub facility. Okay, now here comes somebody's questions, right? Previously, what I was doing, my BW was on a Oracle system. If you see this slide, my BW was on a Oracle system. So slowly, I am moving my BW onto a HANA database. It was an Oracle database, and I'm slowly moving into a HANA database. So what is BW on HANA? BW on HANA means my application server is a BW, SAP is BW application server, and my database is a HANA database, in-memory database. So it has got the advantages of the performance, and it has got advantages of the pre-delivered content from SAP, that is the application server. Now, pre-delivered content of SAP means, suppose you have the reports, the cubes, the extractors, all SAP has written for you. You don't have to build from scratch. It has written for you. You can use them out of the box. Of course, this is just this slide. Those who don't know anything about in-memory, that why suddenly people started talking of HANA is because of these reasons. Because I have a multi-core architecture. Those who are DB people, they will understand what this multi-core architecture is. I have a 64-bit address space. That means I can store more data in less space, and my prices of RAM are decreasing. And that leads to what are the software optimizations? From a row store to a column store, we will talk about this. Compression, I can compress the data. What is compression means? Let's understand the zip file and unzipped file. Why do we zip a file? Because I can transmit the compressed data across the space. So similarly, this database compression is equivalent to the zip. If I have a 10 terabyte footprint of my database, I can compress it to 2 terabytes. So SAP charges only for your 2 terabytes. SAP doesn't charge on uncompressed data. SAP charges on a compressed data, the memory license. So compression is one of your key factors, because you will be needing less and less space. Otherwise, your disk space will be your SAN storage. Disk space is a common man's language, but in industry terms, it is SAN storage. Your storage area networks, right? That space keeps on increasing if you don't compress the data. And you don't need to store any aggregates, because on the fly I'm calculating in memory. I don't have to store persistently aggregates. And the way that processing is being done has also shifted. Previously, my application layer used to handle all the load. Suppose I want to do a budget allocation. Okay, I have got $1 million and I have to give it across 3 cost centers. So all that logic was written here, and the handling of the $1 million into 3 cost centers was being handled by the application server. But now with HANA, only my orchestration of the logic is here. All handling of the data is in the database view. And the fundamental rule, as you all know, is the more closer to database you are, the faster performance you will get. So that is the approach, that we moved everything from an application layer processing to a database layer processing. I know people are sleepy, but I have to introduce you to all this. Otherwise, you should know what is BW. Right now, you know better than last hour what is BW now, right? So this is what SAP has evolved into. Previously, when it was on a non-HANA database, and now when it is on a HANA database, you can do all these. You can do optimization of the cubes. You can do optimization of your tables. You can stage data in a HANA. You can build your models. You can have additional calculations in memory. You can have planning engine. These are all the advantages of HANA in BW. Yes, this is what our scope is. Actually, we are 7.4, not 7.3. That is the scope of this course. So planning also, we shifted. Previously, the planning was okay, and this I purposely included this here. Now I have divided the data into hot, warm, and cold. Very important concept. What is this? The hot data is in my in-memory. My warm data is in my disk, and my cold data is in my nearline storage, in my archiving. This is my archiving. If I figure out that this data, I don't use it very often, very rarely I use it, I classify that as cold data. That means I store it. Of course, there are some configuration parameters which tells which data is hot, which is warm, and which is cold. So the cold data, I store it on a nearline storage. The warm data, I store it in my disk. And my hot data, which I frequently access, I store it on a in memory. Okay. So with this, the information architecture has completely changed. What I'm doing, my acquisition is happening here, my acquisition layer, then my data warehouse layer, then my reporting and planning layer, then my advanced data marts. All this I'm doing here in the NetWeaver BW because of this HANA. I'm doing all this now. This is called layered scalable architecture, LSA++. This is what I was talking about, interoperability, where somebody has done a native HANA modeling and somebody has done BW modeling. I can combine and report on both of these in the same place. This is a architecture where I can combine the BW models as well as the native HANA models. Same thing, I was telling you how to integrate those who could not visualize from there. I'm getting data from some non-SAP and I'm creating in HANA, native HANA views, and those views I can give it to BW and they can consume those views. So in BW, you will learn how to consume a native HANA model and report out of it. This slide is like a overall summary of what we have talked. On the right hand side, this is all you can do in BW. You can design your queries, you can model, you can do transformations, you can do your data handling. This is process change and the way in which data is extracted, operational data provisioning, and the same you can do on the HANA side also with a Power Designer, HANA Modeler, all this you can do. Your left side is HANA, what a HANA native HANA can do and what a BW can do. Basically, they both are doing the same functions, but they have to be together.
Required to do this in order to do it?
No, they are independent. But your situation, I told you, you want to do an operational report as well as a report like on your month-end quarter close. Your data is here and your day-to-day data is here. So you have to combine both of them.
So at the BI level, you need to know both.
Yes. At the BW level also. At a BW level. BI level is just a reporting layer. It is just taking the data and it is putting in some format which is presentable to the users. This is the core, this is the warehouse. You need to know both. Yeah. And this is what there is a acquisition, there is a warehouse, and there is a data mart. So acquisition means how I'm acquiring the data, how I'm integrating the data, and how I'm presenting it for a particular business. For finance, I present it in the same data I present for finance differently. Suppose accounts receivable is there. For invoice people, I present it differently. For accounts AR, I present it differently. Same data. So here I change the same data which come in here. I put it in a two different formats in my data mart layer. That is what a data mart means. I customize it according to the who is consuming it, right? And these are your basically the reporting layer. So your database is HANA. It can be reported on an Excel or Crystal reports, or your analysis for Office, or your Lumira or Crystal Enterprises. These are the various tools, BI tools. I just want to show you that what are the various BI tools you can use the data for. So your skills needed are basically all this. You can have any of these skills to come into the BW or to survive in the BW. Any of these skills, either a business or a database or a technology or a modeler, any of these skills. You can have business skills, you can have IT skills, you can have analytical skills. So your data sciences comes under this. Your modeling and everything comes, your infrastructure and everything comes under IT, and your business knowledge comes. So you can have all these skills to come here. Okay. So that's all my presentation is about. I tried to introduce you what is industry, what is SAP BW, and what are the latest vision of SAP. So I will. I know I have covered.
Sorry, open for questions.
Yes. So please feel free. If your doubts cleared, before I open the questions, let me tell the course structure and format and everything, right? Usually, let me. So usually what I cover is these are the numbers which I am giving you. These are the SAP's course numbers like BW310 like that. So, but I'll explain what are those. So BW310 I'll be covering. This is the core of it. What is 310? It is warehousing. What do you learn here? What do you learn here? Modeling. That means this is the core, this is the heart of the course, where you will be learning about the modeling, how to model, how to transform the data into information. Okay, this BW310. Then this 310 also covers BW something as SAP separated it out called a 330, where somebody wants deep dive modeling, like deep dive. Actually, this is not modeling, this is warehouse only. In the first one, it's just a warehouse. 330 is exclusively for modeling. But modeling is there in 310 also. Those who doesn't want to take 330 course, that's why this is all the way they are delivering the training courses. But why I am telling you about these numbers is because we will try to provide you this material only, so that way, okay. Then there is a course called BW350, which is basically your data acquisition. How to acquire the data. Getting data into BW is 30 to 40% of the challenge. How to get the data, because your data can be from SAP, they can be from non-SAP, it can be from another warehouse. Can you mute, please? You can acquire the data, you can do, after acquiring you do modeling, but unless you get the data, how will you model it, right? So this is a very important aspect of it. I also touch on BW365, which is security part of it. Security and governance is very important factor. So I give you a big picture of it. These are all deep dives, first 3 courses. This is a big picture of security. How to secure the data. Then I give you BW305, which is basically how to design queries. This is the front end portion of it. Before I give it to the front end tool, I have to design a query, right? Which the front end tool will take. This is BW305. This is query designer. This we'll be covering in detail. And I also give some introduction to, of course, this modeling and all includes HANA with respect to HANA. And then I give some introduction to performance, because you have to model. Of course, here I'll be covering in modeling, but introduction to performance tuning. Because performance is one of the major factor. So this is what would be the course I will be covering. Okay. I will be needing, depending upon the composition of the class. If everybody is SAP savvy, I can go very deep. If people are not SAP savvy, first I have to get up to them to the SAP. So that takes some time. So it takes from 4 to 5 weekends. Okay. So, and once it starts, guys, I want you to be serious. But before starting, now you know what you are entering into, right? What does it need? It needs modeling. It needs some programming background. If you don't have programming background, at least you should have that mindset of programming. Because in BW, will you do programming? Yes, I won't lie to you. 30% of the times you have to customize, because you are using SAP standard content. All businesses, SAP didn't design for every business, right? It designed in general. So you have to customize it for your business needs. So there's some programming. What programming? Of course, I give some introduction to ABAP also, but I don't cover ABAP needed for BW. ABAP is a programming language needed for BW.
Which will be sufficient for us to do what is required in terms of programming to customize.
Yes. But you should have the mindset. I can't put the logic in your mind. I can only tell what the ABAP syntax is, right? So what skill set? You should have a bit of programming mindset. You should have an analytic mindset. You should know how to analyze, visualize, mathematically model it, right? You should have business knowledge. When I talk of inventory, when I talk of ABC classification, you should know these business terminologies, right? So I'm not going to teach that business domain knowledge here. I can point where you can learn, but that is not the scope of this. But what it requires is some business mindset, some domain knowledge you should have when you are dealing with finance, sales, whatever domain you are trying to support.
Is ABAP the only language which we could need?
For BW, it's only language. If it is HANA, you need R also, statistics. But it is BW is concerned only ABAP. It doesn't understand anything. Oh, if you know ABAP,
database or whatever the different multiple data sources, still you just adapt.
After you extract the data, the T part is done by the ABAP, the T part of the data. Extract, if you are dealing with SAP data, it is ABAP only. If it is on SAP, it's SQL Server.
Like if you are doing Oracle, then you need to
No. You can ask them to give those files. You don't do that because you don't know their systems also, right? So generally 99% until now, I have not seen any BW developer going and doing some programming on their data. Ask them, somehow ask them to get the data, you get the data, you transform in BW using ABAP. And the class usually runs on a Saturday from a 10 to 5, of course Indian Standard Time. 10 becomes 10:15 or like that. But if it is 5:15 also it is. So you will not be short of time, but the starting, there might be a slight delay in the starting. So official time is 10 to 5 on a Saturday and 9:30 to 4:30 on a Sunday. Okay. So these are all the logistics. If somebody wants to go on a vacation, I know spring break is coming and everything. So accordingly plan. If you are going on a vacation, don't start this course. I don't want any break in the. It goes at a very rapid speed because I cover a lot. So if you miss even 1 hour, you lost. Yeah, system is there. You will be provided system, definitely. Of course. Please, what my approach is usually the first 4 or 5 hours when you are fresh, when you don't sleepy, then I cover the theory, and last 2 or 3 hours I try to cover we do the on system. That way you can apply the concepts what you have learned. Mute please. Yeah, sorry.
How much time is needed during the week to?
Okay, let me tell you very frankly. If you are a beginner in IT, you need 60 to 70 hours. I will not lie to you, because you have to pick up basic IT skills, then ABAP, then ECC domain knowledge, then BW, which is your core. ECC is your OLTP system, Enterprise Central Component. That's where the business happens. Your OLTP system. SAP's OLTP system is known as ECC, Enterprise Central Component. That's where your FICO, that's where the whole business happens of it.
So are we going to be involved with that?
Of course, because you are going to deal with only SAP data.
Right, but during this class, I mean,
No.
how much of that is involved?
Because you have to, if I say extract sales orders data, you should know where to extract from, right?
There is a particular tool to extract from there, right?
Yeah, there are tools, but you should know the tables behind. Just that extractor, it is better if you know which tables has the sales order data like VBAP, VBAC, which tables has purchase order data, EKKO, EKPO, like that. You should know those table names.
So if a library of SAP?
No,
SAP has provided some kind of library
no,
from
no,
where you
no.
to extract?
That is not that you are talking in terms of C language. No, that's not a library. That is where the business transactions are happening. You are booking your purchase orders, you are booking your sales orders, you are hiring employees, you are posting your general FI documents. That's where the business is happening. So you have to extract the data.
Does that mean that there is a prerequisite in order for this course?
If you ask, the prerequisites are many, but if you start doing all those prerequisites, it will take a year to come to BW.
That was my question actually. We need to know what do you think are the prerequisites for this?
Which minimum prerequisite? Without
which you would not recommend anybody to join. So let us know what the prerequisites you think are.
Oh, the prerequisites are, see, I am assuming that you came from some background, right? So you have to utilize that background to transition into BW. Prerequisites as such, there are no, if you go to BW SAP site, there are no prerequisites. They don't ask you to learn ABAP. They don't ask you to learn any ABAP domain or anything, right? They don't ask you those. For BW warehousing, you don't have any prerequisites. But practically, I'm telling you, practically, what is the practical scenario? If I say, like I have been in this discussion, I have been giving you business examples. Were you able to follow it? Then you don't need any prerequisites. If you're not able to follow it, you have to pick up the domain.
I'm still not able to understand the ECC concept.
What is your background? What is your background?
I have IT background.
You have IT background. What do you do? What did you do in IT? Tell me your day-to-day example, one-day example. What do you do?
I started doing.
No. Today, what you do as an
business
IT?
analysis.
Business analysis. Where do you get your data from?
From the business.
That business is ECC.
Right.
That is
No,
ECC.
but you just mentioned you need to know the tables, you need to know.
Yeah, of course, the data is stored in form of
At the same
tables.
time, I'm confused because you mentioned that we don't know the tables, right? We don't know their system. So what are
ECC is
the
a
tables?
standard. No. I know what your confusion is. SAP has standard tables. It's not that
That's
one
what
implementation.
I was referring to as the library. So SAP has provided us kind of standard tables,
Yeah.
which we are supposed to know.
Yeah.
And the data would be fed into those tables.
Correct. They are standard. Like everywhere, Mara will store material master. Everywhere, VBAP will store sales orders. Whether you go to Pepsi, or you go to Coke, or you go to Unilever,
Right.
the table is Mara
Those are
only.
uniform. They are standard across.
That's what I call as business content. SAP has given you the standard content. Yeah, you need to know. Further, erpgenie.com is the website which you have to familiarize.
Will we be covering what those standard tables are?
Most of the tables will be covering, but there are 3,000 application tables. I won't be covering every table.
So how does one get
That's
to know
what.
those?
You
Would
have
you be
to pick up.
recommending any
erpgenie.com. erpgenie.com is the starting place. erpgenie.com.
And is that
So for someone like who has, I mean, practically no experience of the BW space and has very basic IT experience on the Java side, if that person is really coming into the training, then in that case, I mean, how does the person really get the training? Like, I mean, the thing is, I mean, the whole orientation session right now, it felt very overwhelming and geared more towards experienced people. I mean, it didn't really feel for someone who was just trying to get into the IT with SAP BW.
Did I claim that it is for freshers? Did I claim the course is for freshers?
You did not, but the training coordinator did say that you do have freshers and your training sessions are geared towards freshers.
You want to know the truth? You want to know the truth? I had on my team, on all the teams I have worked, I had freshers. They picked it up. They
did, but I mean, the training session then in that case should have been, I mean, my only point is, right, that if someone who is a fresher comes in and, gets bombarded with all the jargon, right, it becomes very difficult for that person to really catch up and understand the concepts. I mean, the orientation session should have been something that could encourage them to come into the technology, not really run away from the technology. You see where I'm getting from? That's the point.
That's the reality. What is the reality?
What I wanted to give.
May I say something in this?
One second, let me answer him. I want to give you the correct picture so that you will take a conscious decision. I don't want to paint a rosy picture to you, and after coming to the course, you will pull your hair. This requires pulling the hair. Let me tell you that. You have to work 40 to 50 hours a week. If you are ready for that, join this course. Otherwise, don't join this course. It's not a joke. I'm trying to give you the real picture, guys. But the bar is high, but once you get into a job, you'll never look back. You'll never look back.
Is it possible to procure a job based on just doing this one particular
That's what I tell you. I know many freshers who started fresh and they got a job.
without doing other modules?
No, they didn't do any modules.
Do you teach other courses beyond this?
I teach HANA.
And then the
And
BI
I teach
level, and the
PP.
BI layer?
Huh?
The top layer, the BI, which is
Yeah, I
the
teach
the
BI
reporting
also.
unit.
That's very easy. You can pick it up on your own also. You don't need a course for that.
You just need to do HANA and this one.
Yeah.
So what is your view, and when you train, right, what is your approach like on teaching concepts to people? Because the concepts are the most important thing, right? I mean, that's not something that someone can just figure out on their own, even if they're freshers or experienced.
What is it? I teach the concepts. I try to give the concepts. That's my main focus of this class, is to give the concepts and to give the practical application of the concepts. These are two my main.
Basically, it sets the pace of the class depending on how many students.
That's what I told you,
know
the strength of it.
on,
Yeah,
right?
the strength of it. But I try to teach, even if people know, I try to teach the concept. When I say database, I try to teach right from indexes. Should you index? What is an index? Those who don't, there are many people who don't know what is an index is also. I don't take long or anything like that.
What happens to those who want to move deep dive into it rather than?
Yeah. That's why I told you, I try to cover a lot. I try to cover the concepts and the deep dive. Whoever can pick it up, pick it up. I try to see that everybody picks up. That's my focus.
What kind of exercises or what is the practice?
That the books has.
Are
We
you
follow
having
the.
examples or
Yeah.
follow a book or?
We'll follow the book.
There is a book.
It's a project in itself where you create a cost center, put data.
So what book are you talking about?
These are books which I told, BW 310, 330, 350. These are books. These are PDFs.
So you give the books. You give the books in the class.
Yes.
Well, the PDF.
Yeah, they are PDFs books.
The PDF book.
Yeah.
Oh, who else is talking in the background? I'm sorry. I mean, apart from you, like who is?
They're asking questions like you.
No. Someone said that there are books and all that, right? So someone's actually trying to give explanations other than you, or it's just you talking?
No, it's me only. I'm telling you, they're books like this, something like this.
Okay.
Books mean somewhere on this. It is not there on this computer. Why they keep changing computers? Yeah, I would have showed you an example of a book. Yeah, yes, guys. Let me tell you very frankly. This I have seen in the training. There are people who got placed being freshers and they're still on the project. It all depends on you. Of course, I'll do as much hand holding as I can. I don't leave any
So
stone.
were they freshers on SAP or were they freshers in IT?
They are basically freshers. That's all. After MS, they came. They don't know anything about IT. They don't know anything. So it all depends.
Because I mean, no, I understand that, but this session went actually too fast. Number one, and number two, obviously, I mean, it was very overwhelming. I mean, the kind of experiences we used and the kind of assumptions we made that people actually know about this before they came to orientation. That's basically what made it overwhelming. I mean, if the examples were more.
No, let me stop you there. The intent of this session was to get familiarized with what is that you are entering into. It is not to make you come in, join this course. The intent of this orientation is not that. I always give a orientation to let you know that what you are entering into. Some people think warehousing as just modeling, no programming is required. No. Some people think warehousing as just business, nothing else. No, it is not. It is modeling also. Some people don't know what is warehouse. Just because the dollar rate for warehouse is very high, I want to learn SAP BW. There are people who come like that also. Oh, so on an average, you start with $80 to $90 per hour, right? If that is less than what you are making, don't even try for this course. Okay? Go do something else what you are currently doing. if that is, some people get motivated by that and learn. Some people learn because it's a new field. In SAP, you'll never look back because SAP is evergreen. I told you, 1500 implementations. If all of them go into HANA, how much business you will have. So different motivations are there. I was giving.
That. It's just that it felt. I mean, I totally get what you're trying to explain. That I mean, there is no looking back. It's a great field, and I mean, that's the reason why we signed up for the orientation, right? All of us, because it was attractive and it. Something should be, it looks like a good field, right? But what I was trying to actually, what I meant by overwhelming was not about what your intentions were, which were really great, that you wanted to tell people what they were getting into, right? But it just felt that the explanation could have been a little simpler, then it would have just motivated us more to really get into and have that drive.
Can I say something?
It will be like this only, the whole class. It will be on the enterprise terms only. The terminology I'll be using is enterprise terms. If you don't understand, you can stop me and ask me, look, I didn't understand this part. I never got introduced to this. So can you explain? I'll be happy to explain. Here, I just wanted to introduce, but in a class, I try to see that everybody understands what I'm speaking. Otherwise, there is no purpose of me. I'm not teaching this class for money or anything, guys. Passion. Teaching is my passion. That's why I'm teaching. Otherwise, I get decent enough during the week that I don't need money over the weekend. Because I want to teach, I want to share my knowledge. The way I came into IT, guys, let me explain you one example. When I came to IT, I didn't know what was a home and end on a computer. I didn't know what was a keyboard. Because I came from a manufacturing background. I was a automobile engineer. I was manufacturing vehicles, delivering one vehicle in 3.5 minutes. And I was running around like a dog. I thought this is not what I read. I did my engineering and MBA for. I'm not using any of my brain. Then I came, I didn't know what IT was. I came, I know what SAP is, I just know what ABAP is, just know. I never was on a project or anything. I came and I survived, right? So, and then I have an average IQ. I'm not a brilliant or anyone, right? So when I can survive, I assume that others can also survive. It's only.
And how do you handle a mixed class? So say there are people who have experience and then there are people who don't have experience at all. How do you handle this kind of a diverse mix in your class?
The class gets slowed. The 4 weeks goes into 5 weeks, or 5 weeks go to 5.5 weeks, 6 weeks, if I have that mix, because I have to catch everyone. That's why I told you, when you are planning, if you're planning for this course, you have to plan 6 weeks at least from next week.
Okay. The time is okay, but I mean, it doesn't really happen, right? That if there are some experienced people and then there are freshers, and freshers are a little slow, would they really push? I mean, would they really push you to go faster because I mean, they are feeling slowed down?
No, I give them advanced exercises. They can keep doing exercises. Nobody is left behind. Don't worry about that part. Nobody is left behind.
I also have a question.
No, hold on. There was another girl. She was trying to ask. It is at an average pace, guys. It goes at an average pace. Everybody, I try not to ignore anyone, or I try not to ignore either freshers or experienced people. I try to see everybody is justified. That's my personal commitment. But rest I will let you decide. I'll let the other girl. Yes, go ahead, please. You had a question.
It's not a question. I was just trying to say that even for people who've been in SAP for a very long time, these concepts are new. So I think it's there is a learning curve for everybody. And it depends on how much time you're willing to invest. And that's what it ultimately is. In some ways, yes, for a person who's already worked in SAP has an edge because then they understand the ECC side of it. But then if you're looking at the HANA and the BW side of it, all these are brand new concepts. So it's new for most people. And yeah, anything that's new can be overwhelming until you get familiarized with it. So I think being patient and being at it, if you're at it, you will eventually get there. Everybody starts new at some point in time or the other. But I think if you're patient and if you're willing to give it the time, you will, be able to grasp it.
Perfect. Yes.
Okay.
Wait, one second, guys, hold on. Shweta, are you there? She's a...
Yes, that was me.
Oh, Shweta, that was you. I couldn't recognize your voice. She's 15 to 20 years of experience in SAP. ABAP she's doing.
Okay.
So I mean, it's hard for her to really get what people feel like who have experience.
Trust me, because I started from a non-SAP background. SAP, I mean, let me tell you this, SAP is a very complex tool. It's not an easy tool. It's extremely vast. So even at work, like sometimes, when I'm working in other modules, it's overwhelming. It's a lot. I feel I learn something new every day. And HANA is a brand new concept. I'm also trying to pick it up. And it can be very overwhelming, even for me.
It was overwhelming for her also, HANA.
Everybody, yeah. So it's a vast, overwhelming for everyone until you familiarize yourself, and every day you learn something new. It's a huge learning experience. That's all I can say.
So Shweta, that's the point I was trying to put, right? So now if you have people like you, for example, who are in 20 years doing other modules, and then you have people like, for example, me coming in who has no practical experience of SAP, and then that mismatch, I mean, it could probably reflect in the way the training is given, right? Because there are assumptions that we make about, you know what?
I think what happens in that situation, and this is, I attended the HANA course, what I've seen is each of us takes away what we can. Like from me, having had all these years of experience in ECC, when the teacher's teaching something, my understanding is probably a lot deeper. It's just because I've had that wide, that range of experience. So I can connect the dots much more than someone who's brand new. And that's expected, right? Like someone who's brand new will probably grasp less than someone who's had 15, 20 years of experience. So, but then it's a learning curve. I've had 15 years of learning to back me up, and then my understanding will be a lot deeper. Perhaps my questions will be different from your questions. Your questions may be, more at a fundamental level, which is fine. My questions might be, something totally unrelated even to the topic, and I'm trying to connect something else to something else, which is fine. So each of us comes with our own experience, and we take away what we can from this course. But there is always a start, even for me, this is a start. Like HANA, I was completely clueless about it. And after having taken the course, I have an idea what it's about. Now it's up to me how I apply it and how much more I'm willing to learn from it.
No, I understand that, but someone who comes from a computer science background with no practical industry experience won't be really able to understand the jargons that are associated with either the technology side or the functional side, right? And in that case, I mean, does the class really take time to allow that person?
Hold on.
I think
what is your name?
You have to spend your own time also. Like sometimes I just Google. Like if I hear a new phrase or a new term, I go back, I write down my notes, I put my questions for myself. I go home, I do my own, homework. So everything cannot be spoon-fed. Like, the teacher cannot teach like the ABCs and completely like handhold somebody. Like, you have to do some of your own work, and you have to try to catch up, perhaps more. And for me also, like being from a non-BW background, I'm from SAP ABAP, I have a lot of catching up to do in a different way. So it's
SAP person who has learned. Yes.
Okay. I have.
Let me answer one question, guys. I will teach whatever you can. You learn through the questions. You learn through the concepts. What others are asking, but you are trying to put all the pressure on the instructor. You have to do thrice the effort. Then it makes us use it. You are not willing to make. You are not to put the effort. This course is not. We can only teach hours whatever we can. We can compact concepts, knowledge, and everything. Beyond, they give you pointers how to use your next week. How to use your next week I can definitely put you pointers. Go to this website, learn from here. This is the place where you learn, or this is the approach. But you have to make a very willing and conscious effort. Then only you will learn. And after spending so much time also, it takes a lot of time to get the first break. Let me tell you that also. Let's be very fair, because you are going to compete against a really experienced people when you are applying for a job. So you have to stand up to your resume for that. That's why I told you. You have to be able to answer all the questions. How you can do that is only when you have a script ready. You use your previous background. For this business scenario, I use this. Of course, I'll handhold in your through mock interviews and through resume preparation, but I cannot do interview for you, right? You have to.
Yeah. Hey, RJ, this is Pankaj. I have a question if we have time.
Pankaj, hold on, Pankaj. One at a time. Let's not bombard. One at a time.
That's your question.
Yeah.
Question.
Go ahead.
Stand up to your resume. So
yeah.
You get people who did their master's in ink. What kind of resume did you stand up to? And this is like an honest question. Do you put in some fake experience? How does it work?
Do I have to tell you that?
As a fresher, is it easy to get into a market doing native HANA or BW HANA?
Okay, let me.
Because it's not HANA.
Okay. Yeah.
We here at we both have done native HANA.
You done native HANA?
Yes.
Okay.
Then we found out that the jobs in native HANA is not as much as.
That was my answer.
Right.
Because native HANA doesn't have a job on its own. It is always coupled with a ECC or a BW. But as I've shown you that mixed hybrid scenario, you need to know both. She asked that question. You can sell yourself good if you have. Shweta is learning. Shweta learned BW. She knows ABAP very well. She's an ABAP expert from 15-20 years, still working in ABAP. She learned HANA. But she realized that that's why she started asking when will BW course begin. So they go hand in hand, HANA and BW, because both are modeling tools. Both have their own scope. You need to learn both. It is not a choice that either I learned this or I learned that. After learning these two also, it is how you present yourself in the interview, right? But if you are equipped with knowledge, you can answer better. If you don't know what BW does and you try to go to give a HANA interview, they will take you towards the BW side questions only, because the concept is modeling in both of them. The common factor between them is the modeling. So you should have that. The mindset of modeling only comes through BW. BW is the tool where you learn modeling. Whether it is HANA modeling or BW modeling is different. Like this, if you know one programming language, logic is there. What you have to learn is the syntax of the other languages. The logic of finding the square root of a number remains same, right? That doesn't change. Basically, modeling is what you're learning in this course. How to model. Whether you model using a BW or you model using a HANA, there are two different aspects for which you need to know both. But what you are gaining the skill here is modeling skill. Got it? Yeah. Sorry, Pankaj, I'll come to you. One more question. Yes, sir. Okay. No problem. Yeah. Let me deal. Pankaj. Yeah, Pankaj, go ahead. What is your question? Pankaj.
Yeah, RJ, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Yeah. So as you said, in traditional BW, Oracle is our underlying database, and I believe.
One conversation, please. Yeah.
Yeah. So in non-HANA BW, the underlying database is Oracle, and in this course, our underlying database will be HANA. So my question is, how it is different? If I will still be modeling in BW, not in HANA, as you said. So how different is this than the original SAP BW course?
Nothing there. Hardly 20% or 10% difference, because the modeling is common, whether it is a HANA database or a Oracle database or anything. It doesn't change.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't change. Yeah.
So mostly I will be learning SAP BW 80% of the thing, and 20% maybe some HANA concepts, right?
That's correct. That's correct. Exactly. That's the mix.
That's the mix. Okay. So, and as someone said, like, so ECC and all that, not everyone can understand every module of ECC. You will be telling us some generic tables and the method of extracting the data, and based on the domain everyone is in, they have to know the corresponding tables and then apply the same concepts there, right?
That's correct.
And concept is same. Yeah. So my other question is, in terms of reporting, you said I have done some, like, I'm not a SAP person. My background is AS400 programming for a long time. So the other concept you said is the BEX query. So we'll be query designing the query, but we will not be doing any. Basically, what I understand is there is a BEX query designer and analyzer within the SAP BW, and then there are like business objects, Cognos reporting, Crystal reports. There are different tools. We won't be learning that, right? We will just be using the query designer, right?
That's correct. But I will show you like how to view the report either on an analyzer or on an analysis for Office. I'll show you. But I will not be teaching you the details of the analyzer or the details of the analysis for Office or anything.
Okay.
They are very easy. They are self-explanatory. You can pick them up. You don't need a course for that, at least from my perspective.
Yeah, I have some basic understanding of queries and all that, so I'm assuming that will be okay. And the other thing is, so we'll be following that BW 310 books and all that for exercising also, right? So we'll be doing those exercises. Okay. And so from the career perspective, RJ, what, as per your experience, I know BW on HANA, we'll need a bit of HANA concepts. What is the next, either someone can just join the industry by learning this, or do you recommend what is the next logical course to take? Is it if someone wants to go to finance, FICO plus BW is a good thing, or the PPC or EPM tool plus BW is a good thing? What is your suggestions?
You want to do FICO? Do you really need to do this?
No.
So those are totally different.
Yeah.
No. I meant to say with BW and HANA, I think when we go to industry, it will be a plus point if you know a particular domain also, right?
No, it is, but how many domains? BW supports all domains, Pankaj. So you cannot keep learning all the domains, right? BW is the generic. Try to understand the art of it. That's all, the art of modeling.
Okay.
Whether it is for for example, every customer I totally face a new module, new challenge. I don't know. Somewhere it is a planning solution. Somewhere it is a totally manufacturing solution. So BW is, so let's not get bogged down by the domain. Domain, you have to pick it up. When you started your IT, you didn't have any domain, right? You picked up the domain based on your exposure and experience. So same thing. BW, try to learn the art of modeling. Of course, what are the extractors for each domain may change a little bit, but they are there. You can learn from the help of the files. You can learn those.
But there's a change in the market today. The market today asks for domain knowledge. They have enough professionals who know about the domain. So they're really interested only in picking those guys who know the domain.
That is there. See, advantage will be there. If somebody knows FICO and go 15-20 minutes.
I have another related question.
Yeah.
Can I ask?
Okay. Okay, go ahead. Someone else was asking questions.
Yeah. Well, 1 second. Yeah. Can you hold on? People are waiting for other questions. Okay, hold on.
Yeah.
Save your question. Yeah, sorry.
Talking about like the traditional BW solution has Oracle at the back. Now we have HANA.
Right.
So doing this course, will I develop an understanding of if I was to go into an organization who had this Oracle base and now they want to move to HANA? So will I develop an understanding of how to do that transition?
Yeah, migration. I will explain you the HANA migration.
What is the
process of
issues?
migration? No. What is the process of migration? There is a process. There is a standard process to migrate from a non-HANA to a HANA database.
Right.
So I'll tell you the methodology for
covered.
Yeah.
We will be
That
understanding what are the critical points in doing that migration.
Exactly. That I'll cover.
The other question I had was, since you are from an SAP, like you are a SAP professional, or you've been in the SAP industry, and I am like new to the SAP industry. So I wanted to understand what is the.
Hold on, guys. One
there are
conversation.
many other competitors who are also having similar solutions other than SAP. Like Oracle has its own suite. Or Microsoft is developing its own business suite.
Right.
So how much of the market share does SAP today have, or what are our job prospects if we go for SAP over Oracle solutions?
Of all the ERP solutions, SAP has the best presence. No, hands down.
In the US?
Everywhere, because it's a highly integrated package. Not because SAP has thought of best business practices. I'll tell you with classic examples since you asked that question. When I started my career as an industrial engineer. So we were trying to design a assembly line on a single piece flow called SPF, which is based on Toyota Production Manufacturing Systems, TPS, if you know, Toyota Productive Systems. That was the industry standard, TPS. That was in 1995 and 97. I was doing the TPS project. SAP came with 93 to release the client server software. Previously it was known as R2, which was on a mainframe. SAP released R3 around 93, 95, client server. SAP had the Kanban system and the Toyota manufacturing system principles already embedded in it. That's how the best the package is. Okay, so nothing can beat it. Nobody has integrated the package as SAP did. It can talk, it has all touch points with finance, controlling, inventory, all. So nothing can beat SAP as far as the market segmentation is concerned. As far as the job prospects are concerned, SAP is highly paid job, so expectation is very high. So you have to live up to the resume. That's my point.
But
when they are paying you, jobs are plenty, I'm telling you.
And which industries is SAP more prevalent?
All industries it is prevalent.
Is it in the financial banking sector? Or
no, it is prevalent in financial services, finance, manufacturing, pharmaceutical, big time. J&J, big presence.
They're having SAP.
Oh, from 15-20 years they have SAP. Okay. There are many
Which
jobs.
are the biggest SAP clients in New Jersey?
Oh, all pharmaceutical companies are SAP. All pharma companies.
So does that mean they don't have other systems, or they are having multiple
SAP, they have multiple systems, but SAP is the most compliant system in the package. That's why people buy SAP. It's the most compliant. So if tomorrow somebody comes, Sarbanes-Oxley audit comes, you can easily prove your numbers. There are no, you can't do any gimmicks there. That's why I told you GRC, governance, risk and compliance is best in SAP. Nothing else can beat it. Integration, GRC, all this SAP. Whether you take FI, governance, risk and compliance. So whether you take this course or not doesn't matter, but SAP is the best from a job perspective. That's why I told you, you'll never look back.
Right. So doing this course actually just means you're starting on a journey, right?
That's all.
It will be a very long journey, as you said. It's a very complex, very large system.
Yeah, as Shweta told, and as my experience, every day I learn something new. Every day. I cannot say that I'm a master in this. I cannot claim after I have around from 97 I'm in SAP. I cannot claim that I am a master of this field. At least I cannot. My conscience doesn't allow that.
So isn't that like a limitation? Maybe if you are in Oracle,
no, because it's changing.
Master everything.
Yeah, it's not limitation. It is how it is dynamic. When I started, ABAP was totally at a different level. Today, ABAP is at a totally different level.
How to learn?
You have to constantly keep learning it. Yesterday night also, I spent 3 hours learning. I have spent my whole last week learning R language.
So
I have to learn everything.
I mean, is it complicated or it's similar to SQL?
It's a C, SQL and COBOL combination of these.
So it's good for traditional old people.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's very easy language.
COBOL
Trust
and
me.
everything is so easy.
Very easy language. Now I'm learning R. Compared to R, ABAP is very
R
easy.
is tough.
Yeah.
I looked at it. It's statistical.
Sure, please.
So we have done HANA training, and this especially for me, I was in IT, I left IT a few years ago.
It depends. Let me stop you there. No. HANA also, how you learned is important. Where most people, Shweta can talk to you. Talk to Shweta. She also learned HANA. Many people will teach you how to just do modeling, that calculation view, attribute view. You don't get the concept and the hang of it. It depends upon the instruction. I'm not telling that you didn't have a good instruction or not. I'm giving in general. I don't know where you learned from. I don't want to know also. But any subject, even in BW, it used to be known as a housewife's job. When it came into the market, it was known as housewife's job. Why? Because every housewife thought that BW is easy and learn. Why? Because they learn how to make a cube, how to make an info object and a DSO. But that is not it is. It is an art. It is much beyond that. So it is what you learn is important.
So that is the point I was coming to. So if you do just a HANA training or this training, I come to the course, and I was asked.
Right.
I have worked very hard in order to get my first job, and whenever I'm competing with
Really experienced people.
Because I don't have any experience.
Correct.
I haven't worked on any RDBMS. I haven't worked on any programming, worked on any programming. I learned it
Right.
such in this, but
Right.
I haven't learned it. So in practical terms, how much effort I have to put on this?
Effort is, the more effort you put, the more. But if you want me to quantify, at least 60 to 70 hours a week you have to put. Otherwise, you will not get your placement. Yeah.
We need to know Java.
No.
So,
you have a Java background, it is very useful.
But I have worked like known by the SQL. So
Huh?
I know by the SQL, but about the developer and the part too.
Of
SQL.
SQL, if you know, HANA is the best tool, and BW on HANA is
All
the
the plugins, and all the related to
Yeah, they are all similar courses.
and then you must not go to like a particular the domain to work like
SQL doesn't need a domain. SQL doesn't need a domain. SQL is a language which you have to learn.
just thinking how to start that that because they work with
Yeah, first thing, don't call SAP guys, please. That looks very SAP. Yeah, and don't call people call it's HANA. HANA also there is a way you have to pronounce it. SAP HANA.
with the modeling base, right? We do the model on that.
Right.
Designing part.
Any tools which we will use it for modeling?
No, BW itself is a tool. That
Is it
itself
a
is a
visual
tool.
tool or is it
Yeah, it's a visual.
a visual?
Yeah. They have made it very easy compared to earlier versions. Trust me. Yeah.
All like what is it? Like a programming, or they have the
No, it's modeling.
modeling.
Like, yeah, just like how you do did you work on Access? MS Access, Microsoft Access?
You know SQL.
Yeah, I know the
So in Microsoft Access, what do? You join 10 tables or 12 tables, right? Same thing is BW. You join different tables and make a model.
Oh, like just grab from the database.
That's it. But you should know what to join, what is the logic and all. That changes. The basic concept is that. No
In
comparison.
terms of no SQL,
Yeah.
no SQL.
No, their scopes are different. HANA is for enterprises. Hadoop is for social media and all that kind of non-structured data. No, it's more unstructured data. SAP is HANA mainly deals. HANA can also deal with unstructured data, but it's mainly good for structured data.
It's not really
For enterprises, Hadoop to some extent is okay, but not.
So its focus is basically upon being in memory and real-time data, but not unstructured.
No, unstructured also it accepts, but it's not famous for that.
So does SAP have any plans for coming up with something which is better for?
No, that's why it can, but it can talk to the Hadoop, right? So why would it come?
Can talk
Yeah,
to
it can talk to Hadoop through smart data integration, smart data access, SDA it's called. So why would it do? And it can handle unstructured data also, text analytics.
And hey, Ajay, this is Pankaj again. So, is there any benefit of doing any certification after the course, or?
See, as for everyone, guys, certification. When I am interviewing, I really don't care whether a guy is certified or not. Certification helps you, gives you confidence. Two reasons: you cover all the aspects of the course, right? You touch everything. Now, when I teach you, if there isn't a test, you may use that. You may not touch that, right? But certification forces you to touch all concepts of it. That is one good advantage of certification for your confidence. But as an interviewer, I never care whether one is certified or not. I only see whether can he or she can come and hit the job, hit the ground running. Can they come and do the job? Do they understand? I also don't care whether their experience is real or not. I don't try to figure out that also. I try to see if I give them this situation, they can come and do the job or not. I place a situation, a scenario before them. I see the approach. I don't expect a solution also from them. I see what is their approach. Are they know how to approach? Because in SAP world, you face problems which you have never exposed to. But there is an approach. Your approach is what differentiates you from one consultant to the other consultant. If you have the right approach, you know how to attack a problem. That's all I see. Are they in the right direction or not?
So the thing is that I know it's a reality. Basically, we have to compete with very experienced persons who are in this field before. So how difficult is it to get a first break, especially say like if I want to just get a hang of it, 1 year you do, and then you can have a confidence of 6 or 7 years, right? So it is just the first break. So how difficult it is to get a first break, even in the consulting companies like IBM, Accenture, or
Let me answer. I got your point. The answer which I give for that is, guys, this is how I say. Say you are a fresher. You are applying for a job, and I am applying for a job. Okay. You know how the market is. You know who is suffering nowadays? The experienced people are suffering. You know why? I'll tell you why. That guy, new guy, is ready to work for $60 to $70 per hour also. He's ready to work for 60 to 70. I'll say my ego will come. Hell no, I will never work for a $70 per hour. Let me tell you. His resume and my resume are nothing different. He also has the same what I have. So resume wise, we are not different. What lies difference is after I go to the client site, if the client is really expecting a senior guy and this guy doesn't turn out to be senior, then until that time, the experienced guy is nowhere. Experienced guy is, my resume doesn't even go to the client, I have many people who come to my interviews, I know, they are really experienced because when I interview them, if you clear my mock interviews, I guarantee you'll clear any interview. I'll guarantee that. I'll certify you that you'll clear any interview if you clear my mock interview. Yeah.
Okay.
And I have seen people, their resumes who are not even considered though they are experienced. Only through network they can come through. Otherwise, if you go through a proper channel of, you see a application on DICE or a monster board and you apply with a real experience, first the recruiters will not even send your resume. They will send his resume because he's ready to work for low dollars and he gets the margin. That is how practically physically this works. So there are good chances for the freshers than the experienced people in one way. That's why if you live up to your resume, if you can't live up to your resume, then once you go to the client side, it will be figured out. And it also depends on the nature of the job. Hold on. It also depends on the nature of the job. If the job doesn't require a very qualified person, okay, you don't need to spend $150 per hour guy, right? Okay, so $70 per hour guy is good for you also because you will get practical exposure and is good for the client also. It is a win-win situation for everyone. So this is how the market works. So it depends upon you, how you are placing yourself. That's why I encourage not to apply for architect level jobs or those things, because they are very demanding. They experience. You have to go and understand the system and design them. And for a first project, I don't experience. After 2-3 projects, you can attempt for that. That too, if you did well. And however, keep your eyes and ears open. However much you may be asked to do a certain data load only. But if you are smart, you should know to how the data is getting loaded. You should pick up there only. Your job may require only this much, but on the same job, there are people who have picked up most. I have experience with that kind of people also.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, you can be either a modeler, you can be an extractor, but I don't recommend extractor. Extractor needs a lot of ABAP and ECC domain knowledge, so don't even go for extraction. People like Shweta, they can go for extraction because they are highly experienced in ABAP, so they can write extractors and they know the BW side of it also. So extractor, but most demand is for extractors and modelers. No, they call SAP. They call BW consultants. They are called BW consultants only, but the description of the job tells what they are looking for. So modelers, and or you can be a architect.
As you said, architect, we should take it a later.
Yeah, later. No, since you asked the titles, I'm telling you all the titles. Previously, there used to be something called as front-end developer. There is nothing, no demarcation between a front-end developer or anything. You are expected to do everything. Previously, there used to be a separate ABAP person. BW modeler never used to do ABAP. But people like me took out that difference. Because I can do ABAP also, I can do BW also. So they don't need a separate BW. When I interview also, I see if they have a ABAP on the resume, I jump and I pick that guy. Then rather than an exclusively BW guy. That's why I consciously make a one day dedicated for ABAP so that you know what is ABAP also. Because
what kind of people do they?
No, little chance. Because you know why SAP, the problem with SAP is the SAP's average billing rate is $350 to $400 per hour. Can you live up to it? No. So
Not immediately.
Yeah, even after 10 years also, do you want to do that? I can get a job in SAP in no time, but I never want to do. Because which client will hold me for $400? No, SAP America, I go and train, but I don't work for them.
You train the SAP.
Yeah. But why I don't want to work for SAP, the reason is, SAP bills me at $350, $400. Who will keep me for more than 2 weeks? Nobody will keep me. Yeah, so every 2 weeks I have to jump up and down. No, if I work at it, I cannot teach.
Exactly.
I should not teach. That's why I don't. Because I teach.
And there are permanent jobs also, right, Archit? Like,
Yeah, there are permanent jobs. I encourage, if you can get a permanent job, take that. There is less pressure on it.
That would be domain.
Don't try to be a consultant of course, you can be a consultant, but if you get a permanent job, at least you are not under the pressure of getting scrutinized every day. With a consultant, they expect from you. With a permanent job, they don't expect as they expect from a consultant.
So what is the salary range for a business warehouse for a full-time?
They usually start from 110 to 110, 110K.
So you mean which location? You mean in Chicago area or in the East or West Coast?
Chicago, you may get around between 100 and 110. Chicago is a little bit, I'm talking of East Coast.
Okay. So, okay, I have some questions reserved for you. Can I start it?
Hold on. Any other question? You had a question. Oh, yeah, go ahead then.
Yeah. See, I'm working in data analytics currently for investment banking, and I have 10 years of experience. I have worked with various tools from SSRS until ClickView, and I can do data modeling and everything.
Okay.
There are a couple of things I need to understand whether I need to get into SAP Business Warehouse and HANA.
SAP. Don't call, guys, please call SAP. SAP presents a very bad picture. Say SAP.
Okay, SAP. Because I'm pretty new, I'm not into SAP.
That's why I want to correct you right from the beginning.
Okay, that's good. So, since I have an experience with all the data warehouse and I know all the concepts, I won't claim that I am 100%, but I can manage the show. So, ETL and everything. What is the amount of effort that I need if I want to switch from other EDWs into SAP BW? Because the question why,
yeah, the effort is on the ECC side. You should talk the ECC jargon. Data warehousing you can justify yourself because data warehousing concepts are same whether it is BW or non-BW or anything. Little bit different here and there terminology, but 80% would be same, right?
Yeah. The only main difference what I see is this SAP BW can have a dedicated data architecture inside the database, whereas the traditional data warehousing will be built based on the requirement for each industries. Okay,
that's good.
I understand that. I worked with Lawson also. Lawson is an ERP. I hope you might be knowing. I worked with S3.
I heard of it. I don't know, but I heard of
yes.
it. Yeah.
Why do you say that if you want to get into SAP Business Warehouse, you should know the table names? Why is
to query also, right? If I tell you sales order, you should know which table to query also. But anyway,
okay.
I just thought where there is an app in SAP tables.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting into.
Yeah.
That's what I'm getting into, Jagan, because I worked with Lawson. So if you go to the front end Lawson page in the form, say for example, you are entering a credit amount, say $10,000 in a box, you can read where this 10,000 is going to get stored. There are some functions available, and you can query and get the table where this form and this value where it's going to store.
Oh, hold on, guys. So, hold on. Yeah, that is there in SAP also. You do a F1 on your keyboard. Separate box. BW is a separate box. So,
but still, you
hold on. Listen to me, guys. I know your point. What you're telling. There is no one place where you get all the, you can get all the tables in one place on the web, Google. You can get the place of the tables. But what you are looking for, you will get same thing in ECC. But you have to go to ECC and should know which transaction. For that, you will know which transaction. I'll tell you VA01. You will say, how will I know what is VA01? So that is what I'm telling you. That only by working experience you will get it. You cannot. That is not a logic or something which you can acquire.
Because I'm sorry.
Yeah. Go ahead. Yeah.
Because I work with the Lawson, so I've seen it has around 2,500 or 3,000 tables already built in. So, but my industry is one of the leading industry in healthcare. But I would say they might be using only less than 500 tables. So another 2,000 tables, which nobody, it will not even have one record. I'm hoping the same thing with the SAP also.
Yeah, it's the same thing. Which domain you are, you have to pick up. And there are 50 or 60 tables you should know. Otherwise, other than that, nobody uses more than those tables. Why do you make a big deal for the tables and all that? It is good. Yeah, they are always structured. You'll pick it up by language. If you really make conscious effort, like how he's telling, you'll pick those tables. That is not the barrier you have to cross. The barrier is how to model efficiently. That is what you have to learn.
Yes. And
those courses would tell us about those tables, right?
But how many courses you will do?
No, in case like if you're in a particular industry, then you can pick it up that way also.
Otherwise also in Google you have erpgenie.com. Yeah, erpgenie.com you will have all tables.
Actually knowledge is at our tips with the internet.
Yeah. That's what I'm telling you. You should not get bogged down by the tables.
That's what I'm trying to get into. Because when you said like that, I was thinking, oh, you have to know all the table names. Why? That's what my question is.
No, not at all.
And my last question, see, you talk, HANA is the HANA is a product of SAP?
Yes, it is product of core SAP's product.
So is it like a plugin? Okay, I don't have SAP in my industry.
It's an appliance and a platform. It's an appliance. It's a separate appliance.
Okay, it's a separate. So it can be integrated with any data warehouse if I want. And if I want to have an in-memory.
Yes.
Right? Okay.
It can.
How long would we have access to the data, the database or whatever?
I think 2-3 months. 3 months, I think.
So
That you check with Madhu. No. It's a demo. It's called IDES. The training version you will be. I think it's in India. In the cloud in India. Maintained, managed by Indian counterpart of this.
So it would be available for limited time.
3 months, I think. That check with Madhu that I don't know the administrative details. Okay.
That was my question. We can VPN to this thing.
Yeah, you remote desktop. You RDP it.
It's not restricted to this 5 weeks.
No.
And you can extend it, but you got to pay for it.
I think, yeah. That you talk with Madhu, I have no idea.
How long back did you guys do it?
Because HANA, we did that.
How long back did you do your course?
It is hard to have it where I'm at, so I don't have a system to actually.
No, you will have access to this. Yeah.
I want to talk to you after the class.
Sure.
We'll ask him some more questions and we'll see how much he can answer.
What is that?
Okay, once you're done, we'll have a question.
Sure.
That, in order to get a job, we have to go for an interview. And just could you give us the 4 or 5 simple questions you will ask?
That's what the mock interview is for.
No, just to have an idea what level of interview questions they ask in the real world.
Like yesterday, I was asking someone on HANA. I'll ask you a question. What are the settings for performance on an attribute view? Give me a setting to increase the performance of an attribute view.
Okay.
You need to be really hands-on.
Yeah.
That kind of a question. It's
So
not
all this interview question is not just you have done a course. You've got to really go very deep in.
So what I tell is that this is my approach, guys. First 1 month or 1.5 months, you attend the course. 1 month, you do practicals. You do practicals while we do here also, but you do again, but you do from a different perspective. That another 1.5 months, it takes 4 months to get a job minimum. I'm telling you, don't discount that fact. See on the forums. On the forums, you learn maximum, where people like all of us and people like all of us who are experienced answer those questions. So one answer leads to another question, and another question leads to 2-3 different answers. So that increases your practical exposure. What you are learning in the book is theoretical only. But for example, the same question today, go home, what I asked you, how to increase, what are the settings for performance in a matter? You may get 10 different answers, but in the when you are exploring those 10 different answers, you will get exposed to new things which you have never thought of it also. Got it? So rest 1.5 months, I asked you to spend on forums like SDN and all these. You will have plenty of material there. Knowledge you will get, practical knowledge. Then you prepare your resume. Don't prepare your resume in rush. Then you prepare your resume, because you should be conscious of each and every word you are putting on the resume.
Right.
Then you can write, you can justify and write. After that, what I tell you is write a script for your each point. Okay, I have done this project. Why you did this? Why you did not use a standard one? Why did you customize? If you had to customize, what was the business scenario you customized it for? You have to have that script in mind, because what the interviewer generally sees is that, did you do it if somebody told you, or did you do it out of your understanding? At least that's how I test it. Many people give me right answers, but they don't give me the background of it. Many people give me wrong answers, but I select them because they know the approach. They may not have got exposed it, but they know the approach. Got it? So you need 3 months or 4 months of preparation. After this course, at least 2.5 months. For HANA, you don't need that much. For BW, you need that much, because BW is much more matured product than HANA. And you have much more people, much more exposure, much more new problems, which traditional problems you may have in HANA, traditional problems which everybody will ask. But in BW, you will have much more matured problems, traditional problems nobody will ask, because they know how to solve it. Right?
And so RJ, we are hoping you will be available after we are done with the course and all that, if you have any.
What I do after the course is, you prepare when you are ready. I take mock interviews and I see that you are ready for the market or not. If you're not ready for the market, I point blank tell that you are not ready for the market. Come back next time.
Okay.
So there is a difference between modeling on HANA and modeling on this one. How are the two techniques different?
They're not different. They are different tools. The tool set is different, but the concept is the modeling mindset is the same. That's why with BW you learn modeling mindset.
Is it the same as the relational database modeling?
Yes, it is the same. It's RDBMS only. Even HANA as well as BW, both are RDBMS.
As you said, there are no cubes anymore, so that's even like going that step forward.
Yeah.
So are we still modeling?
Because you don't need aggregations, I told you, right? In HANA, you don't need aggregations. That's why you don't need a cube. Cube is for only aggregation.
Okay. But the data is still relational.
Yeah, data is still relational.
So isn't that kind of getting obsolete?
No. All your databases are relational only. Very few are objective data models or objective databases. Even if
they are going to be normalizing and all those things?
No, HANA is more denormalized. HANA and BW are more denormalized tables.
Right. So that would be part of the modeling.
Yeah, BW is highly denormalized table. Denormalized model. Yeah. So this is the course, guys. This is what it is. Now you can take your content.
Are you also running a HANA course?
Yeah, just I finished HANA course. No, not in parallel. Where will I have time? Yeah.
So subsequent to this course,
there will be a HANA course. Yeah. Like Shweta, she took the HANA course. Before this, there was a HANA course.
She just completed.
Yeah.
For the training, then after 4 to 5 weeks, for the
yeah, it takes 4 to 6 weeks after that.
So if we take two subsequent,
if you want to present yourself correctly, don't prematurely enter into the market. That's what I'm trying to tell.
So taking two courses, one after the other, do we get access to the database another 90 days?
Yeah, they're separate. But the good thing is the system is common, whether it is BW or HANA.
Is the training database created by SAP?
No. SAP will not create it. It's a SAP's IDES. SAP's training only, but SAP doesn't handle that. The administration of that is not handled by SAP. It is sold by SAP.
But it's like a standardized training module, just like
IDES.
Microsoft
it's called
has
IDES.
its own training.
That's
database.
what. Listen, it's called IDES. It's the IDES which they sell for training.
Okay. Every time you enroll, you get that for 90 days.
But the good thing with this training box is it has HANA, it has BW, it has ECC, it has BI, BODS, everything it has. BPC. That is a good thing with this training. It has all the modules. Even if you want to practice something on your own which you already know, you can do.
It all sounds good. It's a bit challenging.
That I'll not discount. I'll not discount that part. I would say three. If you're aggressive, three months should be good.
If you don't have access after 3 months, then you tend to start forgetting, right?
But you should get job before that.
But you just said that it takes at least
3
4 to
months.
5 months to get.
No. I told 3 months if you are aggressive. If you procrastinate it, you'll never get it. Trust me that also.
Any job.
Yeah, anything. If you procrastinate it, you'll think I'll do tomorrow. That tomorrow never comes.
Real-time scenario is must, like a practical knowledge.
That is why I asked you to spend on forums. That's where you get the real-time scenario. People really ask, okay, I'm facing this situation. How will I solve this? I give as many practical scenarios as I can, but there is a limit. I cannot give you all scenarios, and I may not be exposed to all scenarios.
So they're going to give us placement assistance?
Yeah, that is.
It ends at mock interviews, or they go?
No, they do placement assistance also. They do, but I don't
okay,
rely on
what
them.
is the ratio of students they are able to
Yeah,
take?
I said you don't know what their percentages.
In terms
Yeah,
of how
I
many
don't know the-
students are they able to place?
Let me tell you, this much I know. Whoever cleared my mock interview, they got placed.
They
That
did
much
get-
I know.
So
Because they call me and tell me that
you said this third time, right? So okay, for everybody, just to have an idea, and when we'll go to the real world, if you can give 4 or 5 questions you will ask as a one, we know that we won't understand the answer of this, but just to get an idea of how complex.
My questions depends upon what your first answer is. I don't have a fixed question.
Okay, just 1 or 2 questions you
Yeah.
generally ask.
No, that's what I'm telling you. Yesterday they started the conversation. I asked them a difference. What is the difference between a calculation engine and a analytical engine? Tell me, you did an HANA, right?
Right.
What is the difference between those?
I actually did do it, but I just don't remember it right now. It's been like 4 or 5
Why
months.
SAP gave you 2 different engines?
But I remember reading about this, but I can't remember. We had to do this 4 or 5 months ago. But I understand the concept of the question. And if you'd asked me 3 or 4 months ago when I was doing the course, I would have remembered this.
See, that's why we forget
No.
everything.
No.
What are
If you understand, that's why I tell people, when people give me that answer in the interviews, I get very pissed off. When you understand, do you forget your ABCs? You forget? No. Did you forget your bicycle riding? No. Once you learn it, you'll never forget it. That means you haven't learned it correctly.
when you mention engines, which are the 2 engines?
That's HANA. Since they did HANA, I'm asking HANA questions.
One more. One more.
No, it's good because at least
What
you know.
These are theoretical. This was a theoretical.
Why we are asking him? Because we want to know what
This is not
we got to
theoretical.
learn
Is it
in order to get a job.
This is not a theoretical question. This is the most practical question.
are most of the questions in the book or not?
No. This you have to understand why SAP has provided you 2 engines and why you are doing these 2 engines. What is the advantage?
Logical person.
Yeah.
Means practical what you did.
How will you do SLT sizing? What are the factors you are considering for SLT sizing? When you say that I have to extract 2 billion records or I have to extract 1 million records, is there a difference in the SLT sizing? How do you determine that?
So basically, it's conceptual question generally. They don't say that, okay,
I don't know. I asked the
created.
question.
They don't generally ask to create an attribute view.
That if they are asking that the interviewer doesn't know how much HANA they
Check by the properties. Check by the properties how the sizes of the.
You have to do a sizing exercise. You should know what is that sizing exercise. Huh?
The certification you mentioned is the BW7.4. How much of this course, how much will we be prepared for that certification?
You should be. I cover every aspect, so you should be ready for it.
You think if you
But you have to
course
read.
dedicatedly or
Yeah, you should be able
diligently,
to.
then it should be
Yeah.
easy to pass the
Yeah.
certification.
Yeah.
Also you have like all the questions like a mocking interview questions. You know, you can just.
I don't have any questions. My question depends on your first answer. I told you. Your first answer leads to my second question. I don't have a fixed set of questions. But that's why I never see anybody's resume also. When people start talking, my next question comes. I don't need your resume for that. Because your resume, I know, original, fake, whatever it is, I know what it is. So I don't have to verify. If I have to verify, I'll know at least one person on the project you have put. I can call someone and ask whether this guy worked or not. So I don't need that also. Based on your first question and first answer, your interview leads. Not only me, everybody's like that. Your first question and that's why you have to hit your first question very well. Huh?
Is it easier?
Hello? Go 5-10 minutes to 2. Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Can we have your email ID?
Yeah, you'll get all this. Don't worry about that.
And is it easier to get a job if we get a like one of those modules like domain related?
That doesn't help anything. For
I
getting
know
the job.
few people who just didn't know anything and they just did a FICO module and they're now like
Do you have accounting background? You have a.
I have knowledge. I programmed an FAS.
No, you should have accounting knowledge. Do you understand what happens to credit posting? What is a debit posting? You understand all that? Yeah, then do FICO then. Yeah.
So is it easier to get a job? Then I'm a technical person. I would be more.
That's a totally functional.
Doing that.
Yeah.
I understand that, but since I am now into business and my focus is on procuring a job in this market, so I can.
Right now, from a market perspective, the job is best in analytics right now.
Right, but it needs a lot of experience, and they want to see that experience on your resume.
Yes, that I agree. As far as job prospects are concerned, if you do FICO compared to analytics has more prospects. But if your background supports FICO, go and do FICO. I won't say do analytics. Because in FICO, in analytics also you can do a FICO type projects, right? Right now I'm doing that on the
financial. You need to get into some domain first and then get into analytics, or you get into analytics and then into a specific domain.
I don't have any domain. I got into analytics and then I learned the domains.
Right. But that was years ago.
Yeah. So that solely depends on you. What fascinates you? If configuration is fascinating,
what fascinates me is analytics.
Yeah.
But whether we will be able to get a job based on a.
See, the job prospects first break in SAP is the same almost for any first break. You have to justify your resume, whether it is FICO or if it is analytics or if it is SD or PP, whatever it is, that remains almost same. I would say within a 0.5 difference here and there.
Really? Then I would rather be in this area.
Yeah, that doesn't change much because the first job struggle is the same for any module or any. The prospects, the hitting of a job is more in analytics side because the opportunities are more and people are not as available as in FICO. FICO you have many people.
Many people are. Yeah. And what about all the material management module?
All those traditional modules you'll have really many people available. Because it has been there since many years, right? Whereas this HANA and everything, they came new.
Do they need to change the modules at all, or they are just standard and never been changed and they don't need to get better?
No, they are almost same, only the business processes they keep changing. I mean, not changing, little bit modification. Like in S4 HANA, it is totally changed.
So they redone the modules for?
Yeah. For FICO and logistics.
Yeah, I've seen people that came from the finance and accounting, working in there, and they learned SAP, how to use SAP.
Right. And they became consultants.
Right. They come from the business side and they get it.
They learn a lot because I have right now, yesterday only somebody came from Ernst & Young. She's a BPC. When I started talking to her, I realized she never did SAP, but she came as a user. She learned and she came into consulting.
And
so as a user, no, as a user they do. As you told, as a user, your company implements SAP. You learn as a user, not as a configurator. Not as a configurator. Then you come and join these consulting companies where you claim yourself as a consultant. But by talking for 2 minutes, I figured out that she has never touched a SAP system. Yeah.
What are the job opportunities for strictly native HANA modeling? I know it's less than if you are.
He knows the answer. No, there is no job which is just on native HANA modeling.
None at all.
Yeah, because native HANA doesn't exist on itself. It supports either ECC or BW or something it does, right? Otherwise, it's a platform in itself. That's all.
So, but say, if suppose there's absolutely new implementation, like new system being developed.
No, I'm not telling that there is no new HANA system being developed. HANA system is new, but when a requirement comes into the market, it comes coupled with something.
No, that is what I was coming. So there's absolutely new implementation.
Yeah, greenfield implementation.
I think maybe I have an answer as a NetWeaver administrator. Is that what they're calling these basis?
Basis is
if
NetWeaver.
If you went into basis, then you could work in Oracle. You could work on Unix. You could work on the platform that this thing runs on. HANA is now like another piece of that. So if you were to go right?
My
correct.
question is totally different. That okay, there's a new
Implementation.
company,
Okay.
right?
Implementing
New
HANA.
company.
There's no-
No, there's a new company.
No, new project, greenfield implementation. He's talking of a greenfield implementation.
Absolutely new. The new business, new company. They got a HANA. And
Uh,
why they will go and make a system in BW where they're starting from fresh, absolutely fresh. A new application, no background at all, no business warehouse. They can start modeling in HANA and make their system in HANA business warehouse.
Can it do operational?
Rather than
yeah,
they are doing this from like this,
No,
they can
no,
directly
no.
go to this.
You didn't understand.
Can they do the operational reporting?
Yeah, only in HANA they can do operational reporting. I won't store 10 years of data or whenever you are implementing new, no, listen, when you are implementing new, still you get the data from the old system into BW. There is a
But they don't have old data.
No, they don't have old data. I'm building a new company, right? I'm building a new company. There's no.
There is 1 in million such
No,
project.
but what I'm saying.
I have not seen such a project.
How are you going to start?
In today's,
I don't know.
Because there are 10 other systems are building new systems. The new company, we are new ERP, new manufacturing, new everything is new.
Okay.
So it's a part of.
But how's the data going to get in? I don't know HANA, but how's the financial data going to get into the database?
There's a new financial.
There is no such project, let me tell you. That's a hypothetical one. I have never seen such a project. They might be having some legacy systems. If not HANA, they might be very new on HANA, but they might be having some legacy data which you have to put it into HANA.
Then they can import that data directly into HANA.
Yeah.
That's
right. Similarly, they'll import into a warehouse.
But like from AS400, they will
Yeah,
import the data in HANA rather than BW and directly in HANA.
Yeah.
Because they don't have a BW.
Yeah, that's what. If your scope is just operational reporting, you don't need warehouse. If your scope. But I want to see how many years you will survive like that. But theoretically, yes, they can do. This is what people ask SAP the questions. Can I just survive on HANA? You can survive on HANA for a year or two, but after that you have to implement BW.
Because BW is a much vast business warehouse system. That is the reason.
Huh?
Because that is a BW. Because we don't have all the capabilities in HANA which BW has.
No, it's not the capabilities. It is the scope. Yeah, the modeling is sophisticated in BW.
Application
Yeah,
we don't have.
yeah.
That's
The content, everything. BW has much more value add to the data than compared to HANA. In HANA, you have to build everything from scratch.
That's what I meant.
Unless you
Unless
have a HANA Live, if you know about HANA Live, which is a pre-delivered content, but SAP charges for each module a cost. And that too, it is not customized to your need. It is how they have done. You have to take it as it is. You don't have a choice for customization. If you want customization, you pay them. They will customize for you and give you.
So another question I have: aren't they discouraging HANA by having that? No.
That's why I told you hybrid model is there. Both scenarios there.
My question is different. That you said that they charge based on the data being used.
RDS. Yeah, the license.
Licensing.
That is a drawback.
So aren't the customers getting discouraged
Yes.
using HANA because they are
That's why you.
exorbitant,
That's why you are not. Otherwise, the market would have been flooded with HANA requirements. Just because of that reason, you are not seeing the flood. Once the floodgates are open, you will see. Once they reduce the price, you will see it will be flooded with HANA requirements. Then you will realize I have done the correct job. That is the only reason. That is the only reason why.
It's basically kind of discouraging customers.
They are. Trust me. Why would I, when my system is up and running neatly, means with. That's why organizations are telling I will stay calm, I'll stay put until SAP forces me to migrate. When they will say I'll stop supporting, then I will think about it. Otherwise, why would I invest my IT budget into that?
SAP is aggressively pushing HANA.
Yeah, but why would as a client I would buy it? Agree. SAP is trying its best. It's telling it can do this, it can do this, it can make coffee for you. But when I don't need coffee, why should I buy it?
But SAP has also made a statement that I think by 2023 or something like that, everything will be on S4 HANA in about 10 years from now or 8 years from now.
That is well.
They are pushing it aggressively.
Unless they stop supporting it, they will not.
Yeah.
I will not, as a client, I will not invest unnecessarily. Why? I have already invested billions and billions. Why should I again invest in HANA?
So at that point of time, when they stop supporting, then we will not be having this BW.
No, BW will be there. That's the picture I have shown you. You can't survive without BW. Here, I showed you that picture.
With all this memory solutions getting cheaper and cheaper, why do we need data warehouse?
Because the way I model it in BW.
Why do we need an archive and the memory?
It's not for archive, it's for the modeling, the way we model, the content what we have.
Basically, see the difference what I
If I
understood
keep
now.
all my 10 years data
It's
alive.
not only for the volume, it is the content. Why don't you understand that? I have a rich content which SAP has given out of the box. Why will I rewrite that?
Because we want to use it now.
In HANA, you have to write from scratch. Why would you do that? It takes years to write that. It took years for SAP to write that content. Why will they write on HANA? When SAP itself is telling I cannot shelf out BW, why you are thinking?
So SAP is saying we have to be using with HANA.
HANA has a content BW has a content which nothing can.
This Oracle or Cognos solution, how do they compare with this? Do they also have these two types of methodologies?
They are different. Don't compare that and this. These are the two methodologies because I already have established content. I'll give you a simple analogy. You have a good house, right, with all the features and all that. So why would you break it? If you are running out of the space, you will extend it or you will build another house next to it, right? You won't disrupt this.
Not unless we find that it is not meeting our needs.
Yeah, unless it is not meeting. But the content is so rich that it will meet for another 50 years. At least by the time we all retire, it will meet. At least that much I can assure you. The BW content, what it has. That's why in HANA also there is something called as DXC, if you know, direct extractor connection, which leverages the BW content.
I think the main advantage you had pointed out earlier is that it is able to talk to all types of.
Yeah, it's an open system. It's an open system. It's an open system.
So is that not a functionality with the other like Oracle?
No, it is there, but the way you can easily flexibly model in BW is easily handled.
So what is the unique feature of it?
Content is the unique feature. Content and integration. These are the unique features of BW, SAP BW. Okay, guys, any other questions?
You answered all. Do you feel convinced now that this will get you a job?
I think BW has a lot of content specific to various functional areas.
Content with respect to each industry vertical, each industry.
Right.
Yes.
So when we want reporting based on like a certain functional area, we would go to BW, whereas HANA is very generic. It's a database. And you can model at the HANA level, but it does not provide the content that you need. When you're, you have like out of the box functionality, right, in BW.
Operational report.
Yeah.
They have all the data, right? According to build the new model.
I don't have to start from scratch if I have to do a data warehouse. SAP has the content. It has the content. I can immediately extract it and use it. I don't have to. Whereas in HANA, I have to write from scratch everything. I have to take the two base tables. I have to do a select. I have to do a join. Then I have to do.
All the more I made the business warehouse side. But if I am only interested in my day-to-day, then
that's why you have two right? HANA modeling, BW modeling. If you are only interested in this, do this. Hello. Oh, I pause no. I know.
Analytics you might as well go.
Yeah, that's it.
And I think more jobs would be on.
Yes, sir. You had a question.
Where does HANA is a database in memory, but when it goes to store the data out to hard disk someplace,
Yeah, it stores persistently. It stores on a disk.
what database would it use an Oracle database or something just to store it?
No,
or
it has its. I think it's MaxDB.
It's using MaxDB. Oh, okay.
What is Max?
That is SAP's database.
It's SAP's own.
Persistent database. Disk.
So will we have some understanding of that one?
Why you don't need? You are not an administrator.
No. They can keep that data in separate place.
You are not a basis guy. Yeah.
That is transparent.
Transparent to you. You don't have the hot, warm, and cold that will take care where the data needs to go.
Only admin needs to know.
Yeah. That's for basis job, not our job.
But should we have an understanding of
No.
No.
You won't even have you won't understand also. Forget having an understanding.
I'm asking the question because I'm a basis administrator, so I'm asking.
Yeah, what is
Where is that data coming?
NetWeaver? What is NetWeaver?
NetWeaver is the architecture. Basically, it is a framework, like how J2E framework, .NET framework, like that. NetWeaver is the SAP's framework.
And do we need an understanding of that, or we don't need that too?
That's all. That's all basis. You don't need that. That's a basis job. You are an application.
Well, I don't understand all this past basis, NetWeaver, all these other. There's so much jargon associated with SAP.
I hear that from the ABAPers all the time.
It would have been good if you were able to give us, giving us an overview of SAP. That would also be beneficial.
Yeah, that's why I showed you the SAP screen. Yeah, overview of SAP will talk. Yeah, when the class starts, I'll talk.
At least, as a layman, saying that, okay,
Yeah,
now I'm going to go into the SAP field, I should know what these things are.
SAP BW7 just for the modeling. You can just how to think and then.
NetWeaver is not?
No, DW.
See, I understood that part of it because you explained all of that. But the other related
there is a lot of things in the market.
terminology.
You can manage all this stuff on the application.
Thank you so much.
Okay, guys, no problem. Thank you.
So you can get the right, like all the details. What I discussed today with you, like all the plot.
Yeah, slides are large.
The
I
presentation
know I'm going to
is
sign
sent.
everything late. I just wanted to go over this. You don't have time.
Yeah. You can.
Doctor,
Yeah, really like